Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to start this over. Ready? How you guys doing? This is Dave with LoFiTrader. Thank you, Mama. Mama's in here to save my booty right off the get, letting me know that my mic was down. But anyway, guys, we already have our coffee, but you need to remember that it's the initial jobless claims. The initial jobless claims, they're coming out, okay? They're coming out at 8:30, so you're going to want to be here, okay? So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It is good to see you in here, Mama. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Guys, we have an awesome job. We have an awesome job. We have an awesome show for you today. And as you can tell, I want to go through these indices right away. So pay attention. We're going to get through these indices. We're going to see, is there any small caps that are floating around, low floating around that we need to take a look at? And if so, we're going to find out about it. So, yeah, Mama, I know you do. All right, so let's go through these indices really quick. We'll check on some economic news, and then we will check out our low floats. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave. This is LoFiTrader. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. We have an ever-growing community, so if you like it, if you love it, if you want some more of it, hit that like, hit that subscribe. The SPY. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I am risk off until the S&P 500 is over the 200-day moving average. Well, we are seeing an extreme amount of volatility being traded down here just below that 200-day moving average. When I start to see increased volumes of increased levels of volatility, what that immediately sets me off is this a bottom? Why was I asking myself, is this a bottom? Well, because when you start to see increased volatility, you start to see increased share size, a lot of times that can be the area that is of support right here, guys, right back here into this area. I drew this line out for you. It's not magic. It came right down, smacked into that 380.50, I believe the number was. Close enough, 380.65, 380.50. Well, it bounced off that area and came back up. And now we had a lot of wishy-washy action in this area, but like I told you guys, as long as it holds that 380, it's looking constructive. So now on this hourly, we are creating a higher low. If we can hold this new higher low, which almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders, as we talked about yesterday on stream, an inverse head and shoulders on this, if it can hold this 384, just as we talked about yesterday morning, then it is looking good. It is looking constructive. Now, in the overall market, the S&P 500 did not hold up nearly as well as heavy tech. Good morning, B. Stewie. Good morning. So SPY's just kind of like lingering around in this 380s area, 390s area. Okay, and that's good. You know, we want to see that sideways action. You know, I like that sideways action, but you know, we need to check all the other indices out to see what is the strongest. So the SPY isn't looking the strongest, but it is looking a lot more constructive, right? Constructive pullbacks, but it's under that 200-day moving average, so I'm really not looking to really take on any longs until we see the true colors. Now, IWM Russell, as you guys know, this thing was very strong compared to the rest of all of the market, and then we had that bloody pullback, that bloody bath, that huge bear bath that we took there, and it just got dunked right underneath that 200-day moving average, and now is sitting lower than the S&P 500 and the QQQ. So keep that in mind, your Russell, your small cap, but also keep in mind the Russell was exposed to those financials, right? So all your financial stocks, the Russell 2000, that ETF, was exposed to all that financial and everything that's happening right now, okay? So that's why the Russell is getting its butt handed to it. Now let's take a look at the tech-heavy, 100 tech-heavy stocks in the Qs. You got your Apples, your Amazons, your Teslas. You got the heavy, big, the Metas. Now look at this beautiful thing. We talked about this yesterday, guys, how I took a short here. Alex, myself, and I, we both decided to take a short. His way, he likes to use the options. I like to use equities myself. But either way, we are traders, and we come together during this after hours, and we chat. You know, that's what we do in this community. And if you want to be a part of it too, just join the Discord. Everything is absolutely free, guys. So as the Qs broke up here, yesterday in pre-market. It came all the way at this top. We decided to take a short, and I exited in the morning because I see, and I have seen, just as we've talked about on this stream, that its tech heavy is strong. It's all looking so strong. NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft yesterday, goodness gracious. And now we have the Qs, obviously, holding that tech heavy, looking very, very constructive right now at the back at those downward trend lines. So see this downward trend line? Now we can draw this any which way we want. I have it here going off the top of this. No, nothing is going to be set in stone when we draw our lines or draw these liquidity pools. These are just areas of interest that we're putting out there so we understand our lines better, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. These are not just, guru level lines, okay? This is technical analysis at its finest. Okay, I love technical analysis. I love laying these charts out, and you guys will see the longer that you're here, we do see these bounces. Look, that's the whole reason why I'm drawing these lines, and now look, it's breaking through that, so now I'm of interest. Just like this, I would have been of interest, but I don't see the bounce here, so I would have not played this. Now, or I may have played this, but I would have been stopped out for a small loss. As to where this, guys, what am I looking for the Qs? Well, just like I'm going to see across each indice, each specific equity, I want to see the pullback to retest this area. If it pulls back, say in the day we get this beautiful sell-off, I'm going to look for a constructive bounce here, not trying to cherry pick the bottom, but seeing the bottom being let up, being held up, and watching those bear with bull horns chalk those horns, right? I'm ready to swipe down, but we're going to chalk those horns for a bigger move up. Little pencil, what's going on? Give me 1 minute. We're going to go through the indices. We're going to go through our morning briefing, and then I'll definitely hit you up on them comments, little pencil. But it is good to see the crew in this. So let's see. So that's the Qs. That's my idea on the Qs, guys. The Qs are looking absolutely amazing. If you're in anything tech, don't sleep on tech right now. But we are at those highs, so keep in mind, this is either going to give me the constructive bounce that I'm dying for, or we are going to see it break back through like we have the last 4 times, okay? So it's that simple, guys. It really is that simple. But we just have to sit back and relax. We're not going to predict. Okay, we're going to sit back and relax and see what the Qs wants to bring us. So that's the SPY, the Russell, the Qs. Now we're going to run through some of the more tech-heavy stocks that we've been keeping an eye on as well. So we got 306.90 on NFLX. So what do I like about Netflix? Well, of course, we broke that downward trend line. Now we're breaking back up through it, and we're going to see it want to pull back and retest this area of breakout, okay? This 300, the psychological 300 dollar area. Now you guys know that when it came up here and tested this area, we took a short and just played it right back down to the VWAP. Now that's how sweet trading can be sometimes, guys, where you just take a short. You take a short right in those psychological areas, and then what do? I just got out at the VWAP area. Now we did it on the 5 minute, not the 1 hour, so it looks a little different today. Rabia, good morning, Rabia, good to see you. Let's see. So let's take a look at Microsoft, because goodness, Microsoft yesterday, if you were here for pre-market prep yesterday, you heard me get really riled up. You heard me, because Microsoft was on a terror. It was ripping the throats out of any short sellers that were in this tech sector. This Microsoft really led the way, and it was so exciting to watch yesterday, and I'm so excited to watch Microsoft again today, because if it wants to hold and pose that it is the strengthly one out of the rest of these, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this for some day trades. So guys, we had yesterday in Microsoft some of the biggest buying volume that we've seen in this stock since 6/21/22. Okay, so that is very significant. Now, of course, always keep in mind, when we have these huge buying days and these huge pushes higher, you can expect some kind of pullback. We're seeing a little bit of that in pre-market, but you can imagine that we could at least pull back to 263. And the reason why I'm saying that is just the highest traded average area yesterday, that 263. So if it wants to pull all the way back down to there and catch a bounce there, that would look really constructive. Even if it gave all of its days move back and came back to test this 260, that would still be very constructive, coming back and retesting this high. Now, as you guys seen in pre-market yesterday, we talked about this push, this breakthrough, this pennant, and this test back here. Now, I didn't get in because I was already in Tesla, which, was it Tesla? I was already in Tesla, 10 shares. Now, we're going to get to Tesla, and we're going to see that I was in the lagger yesterday compared to Microsoft, because Tesla did not move much at all yesterday. Now, we made money to both sides on Tesla, so you won't hear me complain about a green trade, but I wish I could have recognized this leader a lot sooner and at least taken a few shares in it. Now, I said I didn't want to be in too many tech-heavy stocks, and that's A-okay. But guys, keep in mind too, jobless claims is at 8:20, so it's coming out in less than 20 minutes. So make sure you're here for the jobless claims data. It will move the markets, okay? Maybe not as much as the CPI or the PPI, but this will move the market. It will also have a huge influence on Papa Powell in what he wants to do with rate hikes. So keep that in mind. That's coming out in less than 20 minutes. We got about 18 minutes left on that, guys, so keep that in mind. So Microsoft just straight busting some chops this morning, guys. If you were in any kind of short in pre-market yesterday, it ripped your face off. Now, this was a good short, no doubt. Hitting this top in pre-market, taking this for a short was great, as long as you exited in the morning and seen the strength off of this bounce. So that still was a good short if you were shorting, but that's why you need to have stop losses, especially when you're shorting, because these things can rip your face off. So congratulations to any of the short sailors out there. We took short on Tesla and made some money. We took long on Tesla and made some money. But goodness, Microsoft, we love you, and we love to see you doing well for our 401k. So let's move on to Amazon. Now, I've been talking some bad names about Amazon. You guys know I've been calling this a pooper scooper of a stock, right? Pooper scooper of a stock, it sure is. But now it got a little bit here. Now, keep in mind, guys, it is under the 200-day moving average. That's A-okay. That's A-okay. But because it's shaping up down here at the bottom, we are seeing increased volatility in the positive side to the volume. We are starting to push up to that $100 psychological area. If we can continue to move up, this slow boat's going to take its time, only moving 2.8% in one day. But once it gets back above that 100, starts looking constructive around that area, and then if it can push through on volume through that 200, that is when I'm going to stop calling this thing a pooper scooper, okay? So I'm a fanboy down here. You guys know where I drew this liquidity level out. It finally held that liquidity level on a pullback. See why I like these pullbacks? Screw buying the tops, guys. Don't ever buy the tops. Don't buy the breakouts. Now, if that's your strategy and it's working for you, well, I can guarantee you're probably lying because I've been testing that strategy in a bear market. It doesn't work in a bear market, guys. Breakouts don't work in a bear market, okay? They might work for a half a day, but you need to take profits quick, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. It's better to buy the pullback. So if this breaks out, that's fine. Amazon can break out right here. I like that breakout. Look at, we'll call this the breakout area, okay? And so it breaks out. What do we want to see though? We want to see it come back and retest this area. I don't care if it gets up to 100. That still can come back and test this big area for a push up. So however I play the pullbacks, it's the way I play the pullbacks, but I just don't recommend playing the breakout. So if you're trying to play this breakout and buy here, it might work on you. It really might work, this 96 level, but I'd rather see it break out 96.66 and then pull back and retest 96.66. Okay, so just keep that in mind, guys. And we'll be going over chat in just a minute, so keep that in mind. I'm not missing you. I'm not ignoring you. Now let's look at Meta. So Meta in the after hours, Heiser was chatting with me. I asked him how his soccer game went. He said he won, so congratulations, Heiser. I know you're not in here yet, but it's okay. It's early. Meta broke out in the after hours, leading the indices, leading this sector, because if we look, we'll bring up NVIDIA over here on the right-hand side, and we know that NVIDIA was also trading at its highs for this year, for the past 52 weeks, right? So here we are on NVIDIA, right at these cheeky tops right here. I mean, that's just beautiful, guys. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to move out to the hourly here. So look at that. You know, look at this beautiful thing right here. I mean, this is looking like a beautiful breakout trade. And it may actually break out. And if it does break out, this is going to be something I'm going to be keeping an eye on for the breakout. But I love that pullback test. So if it does break out, this might work out as a beautiful breakout. But I'm going to want to see it come back and retest this area. And if it doesn't come back and retest, that's all right. What I really want to see is this Meta come back and retest, because look at this hourly, guys. This is a beautiful cup and handle, and now even if you drew this cup and handle off, you know, you could draw it any which way. I'm not even going to do it, but look at this. It broke its highs, all right? It broke its highs. Now look, if we can get this thing in the morning to have like this quick flush down here, a quick flush, so I can buy it up right in this 197.50 area. Oh my gosh, I think that would be so beautiful. And just because I think it's so beautiful, and I really would like to see it actually happen, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put just a small bid out here, guys, just because I don't want to miss this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it right at 197.58, so it's 10 pennies higher, and I'm just gonna grab 10 shares of it, and it's for the day, okay? So that way, if it comes down here in pre-market, you can't set a pre-market down there like that. So if Meta does come back to 197.50, I will buy in 10 shares to hold. Now, where is my stop? Well, it's just below this area. I'm probably not gonna risk more than $10 or $20, but you know, if we can, guys, if it comes back down to test this, I'm not gonna be hanging out for a long time. I wanna see it grab my shares and bounce up. If it lingers or it starts to head lower, I'm gonna exit right away and look for a better opportunity or look for better things constructing, okay? So the most ideal situation would it be to come down here, get me in, trade sideways for a little bit, then start to do what I call a scallop or a little curl back up to the top, okay? So it's looking good, guys. It's looking good. And you could call this the pullback in NVIDIA, where it breaks out here and pulls back, but it's not a breakout. You know, it's just it's just touching its highs. It hasn't even made new highs. So I'd like to see it make new highs, pull back, retest, and then the big buyers step in. The institutional owners like, hey, yo, it's time to go. But so that's what we got for Meta. We just talked about NVIDIA over there on the right side, right at the top, guys. That's what makes an exciting day. What also is really exciting is we have 14 minutes until the jobless claims data comes out. So 14 minutes. Keep that in mind, guys. And wow, I got a big picture up here. Big picture. Hopefully that didn't ruin the picture for anybody. But guys, we have all these tops. Look at this daily here. We got all these tops. Tops on Meta, tops on NVIDIA, huge pushes on Microsoft. So we are tech heavy. We are tech heavy, and we are going to do the dang thing. Hold on in that chat, and I will definitely get to that little pencil. I see a lot of very interesting things from Little Pencil coming across through that chat, and I'm excited to get to them. So let's just look at a few more, guys. We got Tesla. Okay, we can't sleep on Tesla now, even though yesterday Tesla was sleeping on us. So it looks like Tesla, guys, if you remember, we had 10 shares of this thing. We held on long enough in order to get it out at VWAP. I wasn't going to play this thing if it wasn't looking strong, and it wasn't yesterday. So we got out of those 10 shares. We made a little bit of money on Tesla yesterday. I think $50 on $40 on Tesla, somewhere around there. Nothing big, guys. It's nothing big. And yeah, you know, we shouldn't talk so much about P&L. It's about the trade. But just know I do risk small. I do take small share size unless I really anticipate. And if I see like what I would consider an A+ setup, that's when I'm going to take bigger share size. But even then, I'm going to mind my P's and Q's, guys, because simply put, the game is about survival. If you don't have the capital, if you don't protect your capital and you waste your capital, then how are you supposed to trade if you don't have the money, right? So we protect our capital first and we make an earning on it second, okay? So protecting first, using risk management, that's what's gonna help protect it. But looking at Tesla, we made a little bit of money off Tesla, but now look at where Tesla's hanging out, okay? So Tesla broke out of this top area and now it's trading right there in it, that 180.68 area. It's sitting at 181.35 right now for Tesla. And it looks like it's starting to do a little coil here. It already came back and back tested this area at this base, which is absolutely beautiful, guys. I mean, this is why I love technical analysis. We had this V-shaped bottom, a breakout, a comeback, and it retested this area. So Tesla for a long does look very healthy, but remember, this would be my risk. 177.38 would be my risk. If it came down to this 177.38 and it broke 177.38, I would definitely not want to be holding my shares for too long. So that's just my thoughts. Those are not yours. Those are my thoughts, guys. So keep that in mind. Now, Apple, look at this beautiful. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing, guys. So Apple on the hourly looks like it's really coiling right here. I'm telling you guys, tech looks very, very strong right now. Very, very strong. And I have a feeling if Apple, Nvidia, if Meta, if they all start to break out at once, I think if we look at the TQQQ, yeah, I think we're going to see a huge ramp in volatility where we're going to just blow this area out of the water. I really think that. I truly believe that, guys. But also, knowing that I sound extremely biased right now, we need to understand that these could all simply fail. So if I get too overly biased, I get too excited, you always want to revert back to the mean, guys. You always want to revert back to the mean and ask yourself, why? Why do I feel like this? Well, I'm really excited because you can make a lot of money and they are at the highs. They're all looking promising, yada, yada, yada. But let's say this jobless claims data comes out and it shows that jobless claims are very, very low. If jobless claims comes out and it shows the jobless claims are very low and we are still exceeding, everybody's still working like crazy and nobody's like losing their jobs, if it comes out better than expected, that's going to be really bearish on the market because it's going to show Papa Powell that, hey, the economy's doing so well still right now that inflation is going to keep rising. Okay, so we want to see those jobless data. We want to see more or higher than expected in order to bring the market up with it. Okay, if not, we've had some bad news in the market lately, and it does not seem like tech gives a crap about that, guys. So keep that in mind. Lots of bad news, lots of crap going on, but tech says we don't care. Hold my beer, we are gonna head on higher, or hold my coffee in this case. So this one's for me, the next one's for you, I promise. All right, guys, so I think that's good for now. Let's catch up on chat and we will see what else is happening in the market. So we're Bia, good morning. Little Pencil, good morning. B Stewie, good morning. Awesome, glad to see you guys here. Can you minimize your video screen, please? Only if you want, LOL. No, B Stewie, that's exactly what I need you in here for. I appreciate the community. You guys are always here to help me. My mic wasn't working this morning. Then I had my video blown up too big. So, you know, hey, that's part of rolling with the punches, baby. But that's why we're here. You guys can see the raw, the real trading, the real live commentary. And you can let me know, hey, you dumb butt, go ahead and minimize that screen so I can see what you're trying to say. So, appreciate you. Thank you very much, B Stewie. Let's see what else we got on here. Little Pencil, do you ever trade in the pre-market? Yes. So yesterday I did take a trade in the pre-market. I actually did a short. You commented on that short, Little Pencil. That short that you watched, where I actually shorted Tesla, that was in the aftermarket, and I held on to that all the way until pre-market. The next day, so yesterday morning, is when I removed those shares, and then I bought 10 more shares in pre-market of Tesla and held on to it until market open. So yeah, I do play some pre-market. I'm not too keen of it, but I will take, a cheeky trade on something if it has had a pretty good movement. Like a solid movement, whether it's one way or another, and if it runs into an area of sell-off or an area of supply, yeah, I will play pre-market. But those have to be pretty well-determined levels. I gotta like those levels. I gotta like the way they see. But guys, we got 6 minutes. 6 minutes until the jobless claims data comes out. I'll just go ahead and read to you what that is, and we're gonna go back to the chat, make sure everything's caught up. So initial jobless claims measures the numbers of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. This is the earliest U.S. economic data, but the pre-market impact varies from week to week. All right, guys, so keep that in mind. Let me make sure that I'm live over here on this, so that way we make sure we get out to everybody, because we want everybody to be seeing us out here. So let me just do this, and we are sharing with... Guess who we are sharing with? We are sharing with the Robinhood Stock Market Watch List. That's on Facebook. He always lets me do the live trading room and all that good mumbo jumbo, you know. It's good to work with others, guys. It really is good to work with others because you can help each other with a symbiotic relationship to keep on keeping on. So right back to the stock market, guys. Let me make sure we are all caught up on chat. So let's see. Lil Pencil says BBIG and Snap to take off if TikTok ban goes through. Yeah, you know, they've been talking about that TikTok ban for a long time. Anytime they start talking about stuff like that, I wouldn't hold your breath for too long. So Vinco Ventures, yeah, this thing is just really, really bad. It's well under that 200-day moving average, and you can see anytime we get a pop on BBIG, it just keeps selling off. So I don't like BBIG, but I tell you this, I do like Snap. And the reason why I like Snap is because look at this 200-day moving average. It's starting to finally crest over the top of it and pull back and hold new higher lows on this daily. Now, not just that, but look at the volume down here. This volume, look at this. Let me just zoom in here, and you can see we had a lot of sell-off volume here, but since we bottomed, since we came into this area, we are starting to see some buying volume right here. Look at this buying volume, and then all of this here, all of this is on very low selling volume, okay? And then look, we get another ramp up here on higher volume, and then when we sell off, we get lower sell-off volume. Then again, we get higher volume here and lower selling volume here. So I can 100% back you on that statement, Little Pencil. Definitely, if TikTok goes down, we could probably see some increased ad revenue for Snap. But we have to also keep in mind, too, I like the fact that Snap is using that AI kind of thing. They just added AI to their Snap. So I use Snapchat actually as well, and I probably should give you guys my Snapchat code so that way we can do snaps back and forth as well. That would be fun. I actually use Snapchat quite a bit. Now, I don't use the AI in the Snapchat. I don't use the AI thing. But I think it's interesting, and I think it might actually increase their ad revenue by, you know, not their ad revenue, but it's a subscription where you can either pay $5 or $10. And I think that can really be, you know, a big factor. I think that can be a big factor. I think it can really increase their revenue. So yeah, I think if TikTok goes down, sure, Snap's going to go kabooey to the north side. But I also think that Snap, because they just now recently started showing earnings, you know, I get on there, sometimes I get hooked, you know, kind of flipping through things too. So they're doing a great job, and they're bringing in money finally, their first time ever. And so, yeah, I think Snap might have itself a pretty, and look at Snap, that bounce off that that $10 area. Snap's looking mighty fine down there. But remember, guys, Snap is not a leader in this market right now. Now, it might eventually be a leader, but right now, it's not a leader. Your leaders in this market, in this tech-heavy market, are your Meta, your NVIDIA, and actually, you know, after the show, I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive into tech to see if we have any other leaders that are trying to make a rise while tech is doing very, very strong right now. So I'll definitely be looking at those, but I'm going to do that after hours. I'll be using FinViz, which is very easy to use, and maybe I can do a little video or a little short on to see how we can look at the sectors in a technical way to find those leaders, because with the way things are shaping up, guys, if we get the SP 500 over that 200-day moving average, I will be back to risk on, and I will be looking for those leaders like we've seen in SMCI, we've seen in MAXN, in IoT, in First Solar. You guys remember First Solar? Still, my heart hurts watching that. You know, STM, IBKR, AMR, those were our leaders that were holding up. We're going to have to revisit all of these now. Now, AMR doesn't look too well anymore, but, you know, we want to go back and revisit all those tech leaders, or all those leaders in the market while the market was pulling back. So we will definitely be doing that. So let's just go ahead and check our small caps, guys. Let's check our small caps. Buenos dias, senor. Good to see you, Kevo Paban. Kevo Paban. It's good to see you in here, man. And guys, if you're here, you're doing yourselves a favor. We're doing our due diligence today. We're going through large caps, small caps. We're going through the indices. We're trying to get a better understanding of what's going on in the market by using moving averages, by using stop losses when we trade, and by going over everything that interests you. So we had my boy Lil Pencil bring up Snap, which is an interesting trade, and it was fun to go over because there's a lot of feelings and mixed emotions when it comes to all these different things. And when we speculate, we can have a better understanding of where those levels levels, where those lines are at, and I like this 10. And so does Snap, because after it touched 10, it bounced, and it bounced hard, and it headed to the north side. So can we see the ship shape up in this area so we can find another clear risk reward? Because I would like to get a few shares of Snap and hold long term, because this $10, this $9.50 to $10 area looks solid. It looks like it wants to hold, and it looks like it wants to keep on carrying on. So we're going to keep Snap, and we're actually going to put Snap, we'll put Snap up here on the rest of our trades now, so that way we can go over Snap every time with the rest of them, just because it looks like it's shaping up, and these look like some decent areas to be buy-in. So let's see what else we got. THMO. So I've already got all this marked out here for you guys. Yesterday we were here. TMHO. These are its liquidity areas, its highest liquidity, and boom, right there you see it. We talked about it yesterday. It's in its highest liquidity area back here from 11/29/22. And as I am talking, guys, we'll put this on the 1 minute. Look at this. This is why we mark out these areas, guys, because look, this is what happens in these small cap stocks, guys. These huge sell-offs like this. I mean, it is absolutely terrifying if you're in this stock and you long this thing and you grab 100 shares, especially in pre-market, because you can't get out of this thing right now. You know, you just can't. And boom, it just sells off like absolute crazy, hits these bottoms. You know, you don't know what to do here. Are you just going to hold because, oh, well, now it's going to bounce? Well, if it bounces, it's probably going to bounce right up to this 560 area again and fail. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to go back up, I better hold, but yet there's still a bunch of baggies up here ready to sell into you. So will it even make it up that high? You know, look at that. It's just crazy how fast this moves. So we need to be careful when we look at these small cap stocks, and that's why in pre-market yesterday I marked out these areas for you. They held these areas and they bounced up. But if you held and you kept holding and you didn't have stop losses and you held into the pre or after market, look at this, guys. You're down money and you're down big time. That's why you need to be really careful in these. Really careful in these. You need to make sure that the lines are holding very key levels of liquidity so we don't get hurt in this, okay? So let's, I'm going to go through, we're going to take the highest relative volume stocks. We'll do them over here on this top right-hand side. And these are going to be all of our, these are going to be all of our highest liquidity traded, our highest relative volume, meaning the highest traded volume compared to the rest of its life, okay? So XPON, top right here, it's still moving up. This is the hourly. It's still moving up, still holding that 10-day moving average, looking absolutely amazing. We've been watching XPON from its inception over a month ago, guys, and this thing has still been climbing. So what a beautiful trade. What a beautiful breakout down here. You know, if you can catch one of these breakouts, that's why I've been playing breakouts for so long. It's just because, you know, these things, these moves. Oh, shoot. Jobless claims coming out right now, guys. Right now. Holy guacamole. Let's take a look. Let's see what they are. Thank you for sticking with me. And bam, they are out. So building permits, there it is. Jobless claims, 192,000. Goodness gracious, 192,000 on the jobless claims. That is the actual. The forecast was 205, so that actually should be looking worse. So that's weird. The forecast was 205,000, and now we're at 192,000. Okay, so when we see that, that is actually going to be bad for the market, because if we have better than expected or less than expected jobless claims, that should actually bring the market up because, down, because we have more people still working than we had expected was going to be working. And but it is still coming. It's still coming down. That's not good. That's not good for the overall economy, to be very, very honest. Now we had, in 2020 we had jobless claims was up over 7,000, and now we're well below that, and we're trailing below that. But we want more people to be laid off in these times right now, guys, because, and it's staying right about average. Like, we're just kind of even keel. We've had 192 or 200K for our past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So it's just been an even keel. It's like nobody's getting more jobs, nobody's getting laid off. It's just this even keel. So that was the jobless claims, guys. It came out. It didn't do much of a move in the market at all because it came right around as expected, and we are getting the same jobless claims data month over month. So it's not doing a whole lot. It's not too exciting for this. But you know, if everything is to be the same and everybody seems to be believing that the Fed's going to pivot, you know, we still are looking bullish in this area. Now, remember, we had a big push yesterday, a big push, so we can expect some pullback. But, you know, with this overall market, goodness, I'm really surprised those jobless claims data didn't move the market more than that. So that was cool though, guys. I'm glad that we could bring it to you. We were about 3 minutes late on that. So that is going to show me where we can improve. So where can we improve? Very simply put, we can improve on making sure we get the timer out here. So we have a timer, so that way the timer can go off, so that way we always know when the initial jobless claims data, when all the CPI, when all the hottest data comes out, so we don't miss it. So let's go ahead and catch up on chat. So ELEV, let's take a look at that on the top right hand side, and then I'll finish going through we'll finish going through everything else. So ELEV looks like we have a nice little pusher. Okay, so let's take a look at the overall. So since its inception, this elevated oncology. So keep in mind, guys, right away, that tells me that this is some sort of biotech or pharmaceutical. So those are always going to come with risk right away, because they usually, at least from what I have found, they like to dilute their shareholders in order to keep their businesses running. So we have a stock that has been trading under $1 for quite some time. It looks like they're going to have to do something in order to get above that dollar, so that way they can continue being listed under the NASDAQ. So we got ELEV, which had probably, you know, some news that came out that says, you know, it needs to get up above $1 or they're going to be delisted, and here we are sitting at 227. So what do I think about ELEV? Well, I know it's above its 200-day moving average. That's great, but I don't trust the stock for 1 second. And the reason why I say that is because it is a biopharmaceutical type stock. Now, if this thing wants to pull back a little bit and shape up above $1 and create new higher lows, that's when I will be looking at this. But when we see a straight up spike on volume, I don't know where this thing's going to go. I don't know where any levels are, but I do know I want to keep an eye on it. So I will take ELEV. I'll put this down here on my watch list, and it actually shows up that it is showing relatively high volume, which we can expect that obviously because of the spike. But we're going to keep an eye on this thing for the next few days to see if we can watch another multi-day runner start to form. Because if we could catch a multi-day runner, that would be great, because then everybody can make some money off that. So let's look at JFBR. And guys, if you want to know, if you want to see me go through anything, if you want to commentate on a trade you had, or if you want me to look at a stock that you're looking at, let me know in the comments, guys, because I would love to go over them. So JFBR, this is one of those things, you know, we get, let's imagine this is the oncology thing, you know, a huge push up, and then we get a pullback, and it's trying to hold this area. Why do I have this 169 area marked out? Well, that's our areas of liquidity. If it can hold and eat away this liquidity, its next stop is going to be 240, and then it needs to eat away that liquidity there. So I have these marked out for reasons, guys, and there's very key areas. So if we have JFBR pushing up and eating into this liquidity, and we can find a base that we can risk off of, say this 150, this might be a nice little trade, but I'm going to need a couple more days, let this 10-day moving average catch up to it. Okay, but that's what we're looking for in these small cap stocks. We're looking for multi-day runners to shape up so we can catch a bid to the long side, so we can carry on Wayward Sun. Good morning, Stu Klott. Good morning, good morning. BLPH is also on this same list. 611. At 611 here, I have this marked out just because we want to see this thing bounce here. We want to see it trading sideways and get really, really tight. What I mean by really tight is we want to see it looking kind of like this here, guys, on the daily, okay? So we want it to look kind of like this, but on the daily. And we want to see it squatting down on the 10, 21, or 30-day moving average before trying to head higher. And then that's when we can take a pretty little risk reward right there. And as it starts heading up, we can pay ourselves. But remember, that's a 9 million float. These are rip your face off stocks. I'm not suggesting anybody trade these stocks. I'm just using this for pure entertainment, because these are fun to watch. EUDA looks like it broke down from that area I wanted to see hold. Now it is sitting down on its 10-day moving average, but the thing is such a chop fest, it's not something I want to trade. So once this breaks out above all this crap that's going on and wants to come back and retest, I'm going to need some better levels to be laid out, because right now this thing is just looking like a huge pop and drop, and I don't care to mess with those too much. So UNCY, same thing here, guys. We want to see this to this $1.88 hold. I pointed this out, that's $3 area on UNCY at the top, that it's going to have some liquidity. And sure enough, it came right up and almost touched 288. So it came right back down after touching that 288, and now look, it respected this $2 area, bouncing off of it. So if we can get another maybe bounce and trade sideways while this 10-day moving average catches up to it, I'd like to see some tight squatting action down on that 10-day moving average. JSPR, I don't even want to look at. This thing's taken like $20 or $30 from me. ONCS, and I don't mean that. I lost $20 or $30. It is my own fault. I do take full responsibility, but it's fun to blame others, right? So we'll go over MTC in just 1 second, brother. ONCS. Look at this, ONCS. Now this is looking good. This is looking constructive, guys. Why do I say that? Well, I've already marked out all of its liquidity levels. Remember, this is a super, super low float. Now, I wrote super low float. I wonder how super low float it is. This might be, in the teens. We can look that up actually right now for you guys. Let's look up this float here just because we want to know what the heck we're looking at. So I wrote super low float. That probably means it's in the thousands. The short squeeze data, the short percent float on this is 26.24. So this is a squeezer stock. This needs to be on our mega watch list. So guys, keep this on our mega watch list. ONCS. This could be a squeezer. Now let's look at the actual short interest on this, or not the short interest, the float. We got to look at the float checker on this. The float on ONCS is 2 million, and some data sources are telling me 802,000. So keep in mind, guys, this could be anywhere between rip your face off or make your toes bleed kind of stock. So you need to be really, really careful what you're trading out there, guys. Be very, very careful. But this, I really do like. It makes me, what I like about this is it's holding this area of support at 225. I like that, first of all. Second off, I like that it's a super low float. So I can day trade this. So what I'm thinking here, guys, is what I want to do. If I want to day trade this as a low float, as an entertainment trade, I would take this trade at 225, risking this 218, right? Risking this pre-market low right here. Because I think that's plenty of room to give this thing a hold. So maybe at market open, we'll take 10 shares. We'll just take 10 shares of this at market open. And then when it opens up right away, I'm going to go ahead and set my stop loss. I'll set my stop loss here right after market open, and then we will, see to it that it stops us out for a small loss rather than trying to stop us out for a big loss, okay? So ONCS, I like it. It's going to get us in. I'm going to write it down here. ONCS for a small long, risking that 222. Cool. So keep that in mind. So let's look at a couple more just really quick. AMBI looks like it's trying to hold this area, but it keeps failing. So okay, let's check what B Stewie. So B Stewie actually gave me AI yesterday, which we are trading AI, and now he's brought up MTC. So we're going to look at that in just a second. It looks like AI is holding up very well over on this side. It looks like it says we're down $4.55 since the open, but that's wrong. We're in it from 2044, guys. We have 5 shares at 2044. It's trading at 2088, so we're up a cup of coffee on that. It took me 2 tries to get this in yesterday. But we're in it. We're in it to win it. So now we're going to look at MTC on this right-hand side. and you can see it held this 150 area. I have that drawn for a very specific reason, guys, because that was an area of liquidity that it broke through and never came back to test. Well, it came back to test over here and then bounced and headed higher. So MTC is looking like it's trying to shape up and trying to head on higher, but it's still a little extended from this 10-day moving average. This 21-day moving average seems to be its area that it wants to hold. So we need to let this thing breathe for a couple days. Let it show its true colors, because at these highs, at its tops, we're expecting a pullback. So we can expect a pullback here, but we want to see where it's going to land, where it's going to hold. Maybe it holds this 250. You know, it's already pulled back from there and held it once. Maybe this 250 is not just a psychological, but eventually it'll turn into a technical area. So MTC is a good one. It's definitely one we're going to want to keep an eye on for the long run. There is some pop and drop history on MTC, so we definitely want to be careful with MTC. Okay, guys? All right, so let me take a sip of coffee. I do want to say this. I reached out to a coffee maker. It's called Silly Sips. I just, you know, what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring more awareness to children's mental health. And I reached out for them to become a sponsor, and I think it would be really, really beneficial to this show, because simply put, we drink coffee, right? We drink coffee on this show, and I'd like to advertise that, and I would like to also, you know, if they're going to pay me to advertise to get more awareness to this mental health, we're going to give 10% of whatever they're going to pay me also to that. So I really do hope this works out. It's something I'm working with them, and I just wanted to bring them up because I think it's good to just bring up children's mental health as it is, guys. So if you have ever had any trouble with mental health or anything like that, we're just going to go ahead and bring more awareness to that today, and hope and pray that we do get a sponsor on the show, because it would be a great sponsor to have. I would love to bring more mental health awareness in general. You know, some people don't have it as easy as others, and it's good to know that. You know, don't that goes right back to the don't being a bully thing. You know, if you're sitting there at school and, you know, yada, yada, yada. I could go on and on for hours about this, guys, but right back to the stock market. We are going to take a look at the indices. What do we got going on for the indices here? We have the SPY. We have the SPY sitting at 387.64, guys. It looks absolutely beautiful here, but we do know it's still under a 200-day moving average, so I'm not risk on. I'm going to keep an eye on this to see if the overall market is going to shape up with the Qs, because we know the Qs is very strong. Now, IWM, on the other hand, is not looking that strong. This thing has been bleeding out, and it looks like it's still trading at those lows. Now, if we want to come down here, this 171 area, and bounce to create a head and shoulders pattern on this would look great for IWM, but we got to understand that right now it was looking like the strongest stock, but it is now looking like one of the weakest stocks, guys. So we need to be really careful when we're looking at the overall market. We're looking at all the indices. We want to see where the strength and where the weakness is. All right. So we are looking right now at the weakness. The weakness is in the small caps and the mid caps. Okay, keep that in mind. But when we look at the Qs, we're looking at the strength. We're looking at the stronger, the more tech-heavy stocks. Now, we have the Qs pulling right back down to this downward trend line that I've painted for you guys on my chart, okay? But what's going to happen with this when it touches this downward trend line? Well, personally, I would like to see this thing trade sideways or bounce right away. Bounce. Give me the bounce that I want to see and expect around this 297, 298 area. If it wants to give us a tasty little bounce off that, we might have a spicy little trade. So get your napkins out. We might make a mess, baby, because we want to make some money. And we're a bull in a china shop, but we are bear with bull horns. So if we need to, we'll swipe down on some things. But we want to see the markets heading higher if you got a 401k, Roth IRA, or any type of investing service. So you know what I haven't done in a little bit, guys, and we're just going to go ahead and run through it. If you look on your screen here, guys, I have this beautiful chin of mine just swinging around. But if you scroll down, you can smash this like button, guys. We only have 9 likes right now. Goodness gracious. We're going to see if we can get up to 30 likes today, even though we might not have the craziest title in the business. We love to see these achievements being set and matched. And yesterday we blew it out of the water. And I know some of you guys are unliking it. Well, that's A-okay too. We got a long day ahead of us. us. And we're going to be here from 8 until 12. And I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. So guys, listen, if you like it, if you love it, if you want some more of it, let's smash that like. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button because I love to do this. You're not going to find this anywhere else, guys. I've scoured the internet. You won't find anybody giving you live commentary for 4 hours straight, giving you all the excerpts he possibly can while trading live in front of you. And you won't see it this passionate, guys. I can promise and I can guarantee that that's how this show will forever be. I'm excited. I'm a very passionate person. I love to teach and I absolutely love to learn. There's so much to learn in the stock market. If you stop learning, well, then you are done trading because there's always something to learn. And you're a loser unless you're learning. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. So smash that subscribe button. So the Qs look like we're getting this beautiful little pullback here. Now I would love to see this hold out, but remember guys, we are at the highs. We are at the highs. So if this doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. It created a new high, it cleared the liquidity, and then it's going to sell lower. And if it wants to sell lower, that's okay. We want to make sure we manage our risk. So if you have Meta, if you have shares of Meta, you are doing a great job. Congratulations on your trading. But we need to keep in mind, where is the line going to be drawn in the sand? Well, personally, I think if you are in it for the long term, we don't want to see this thing breaking down this 188. We don't want to see it breaking down 168. Okay, depending on where you bought these, that might be a huge loss. So what's wrong with taking profit? Well, if you take profit, is it going to hurt more if you lose it, or is it going to hurt more if it takes off on you and you don't win as much? So that's what I always like to think of, is how is it going to hurt me more? Because either way I get hurt, right? Either way, if I hold the position and it pulls back, I'm going to wish that I got more out. If the position goes higher, I'm going to wish I had more in. That is just the human nature, right? You want what you don't have, and you know, it is what it is. So it is what it is, guys. So the Qs are pulling back. We want to see it test and hold this downward trend line. If it can do that, and we can see the same thing happening on Meta, where it comes down and it's going to test this double top, and we can see the same thing on Nvidia, if we can see the same thing on Netflix, if we can see the same thing on Microsoft, you know, I don't mind seeing these pullbacks for a test, for a move higher, because we've seen tech extremely strong. So I am bullish right now on tech until it breaks these key areas. So we've broken out, but can we sustain this breakout? It's a very, very interesting. Now guys, I've painted this picture on every stock on here, guys. We know where our levels are. We know where our lines are. We know where the liquidity is. So we know where we need to be risk off. So after it breaks these key areas, we don't want to be hanging out for a long time. We're only here for a good time, guys. All right, so I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to go over everything. Now, we don't have anything too crazy going on in the low floats. Now, anything that is going on, they're just these big pops, and then they're kind of selling off really quick. So this is another pop and drop that just popped up, and that's LIPO. So what does LIPO have going on for it? Well, we have this 350 area that if it wants to actually make it up to, there's going to be some heavy sell-off, because I have found over 1.5 million baggies probably sitting right here at this 350 area. Now, I'm sure not all of those are baggies, but I like to just say that that is the amount of volume that is there, and that's how many baggies are there, because then we can judge how hard things sell off compared to their float. So I can guarantee LIPO, it is a diluted pharmaceutical stock, and it is a low float stock as well. So be very, very careful. Not dropping yet, LIPO. Yeah, LIPO, like I was saying, Mike, back here on LIPO, our highest volume traded area is around this 350 area. We got 1.5 million baggies back there. So if LIPO wants to give that pop up into that area, I expect that would be a better short area. And even then, it might pull back from there. We have liquidity even higher above that. We have another area at 550 that has even more baggies up here, guys. We have over 8 million shares traded there. So keep in mind, every pop that this thing has given, it has given it all back. So we're getting a pop right here in LIPO, but don't trust this share for a second. This thing might sell off very quickly. Now, keep in mind, guys, we are going to be market open in 7 minutes. So if you don't know, now you know. We have 7 minutes until market open. I am pumped. I hope you are pumped. And Mikey, it's good to see you, brother. Good morning, good morning. This one's for you, not for me. Well, you can come in here. We got a few minutes. Come here. Give me this baby. It's okay. We're getting ready to have market open here in just a minute. Oh! Well, my wife just saved me. So obviously I haven't had my fair share of coffee yet. We'll put the bell back up top. She come in here like, hey, the market's not open till 9:30, dude. It's like, holy cow, time to take another sip of coffee. Baby, want a sip? Baby, want a sip? You're going to be with mom today, not me, so he'll be zinging. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Baby. This is Baby Trader. He's pretty much the best trader. He tells me all my stock picks. He is Baby Guru, stock pick, whale trader squeeze box, juicing up to the sky, monkey butt. Mwah. He's amazing and I love him. But this man right here is going to tell us what our next stock pick is. So, Reese, tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop. Tell me when. He said CDIO to the moon. These aren't buy or sell recommendations. This is just a big fat baby on the screen telling you to buy CDIO. I'm just kidding. Don't buy CDIO. But I will say this, since we clicked on it, CDIO right here at this $4.75 area does look like it's holding up pretty well. Now we do have some liquidity above this area. So if it wants to keep basing out, come up, maybe clear this liquidity, show us a pullback and another retest, and heading on higher, that might be a nice little breakout there. But keep in mind, we do have plenty of baggies up there in that $7 area. So, baby, good stock pick. Good stock pick, Mr. Baby. All right, so before we go any further, I want to run through the sectors one more time and see what we have going on. So, we have the SPY up here. We want to see the SPY hold these new lower highs. If they can hold these new lower highs, then we are going to see this thing come back up to retest that 200-day moving average. All right? And I would love to see that. We want to see the SPY get back up to that 410 area from when I started this YouTube channel. And if you guys remember, we were talking about 410 and that the possibility of it coming down to 400. And then after that, we talked about the possibility of it coming down to this 390 area. And that's exactly what we are. I'm sorry, this 380 area. And we've been following this from the inception of this. So that's why it's beautiful, guys. Especially doing this, it helps me stay disciplined, one, and two, I see these images in my head now. I've been looking at these charts for so long and so much. If you say the SPY, I can tell you exactly where the levels are or how close it is to the 200-day moving average. It's an amazing thing. So you guys are helping me as much as I hope I'm helping you. So good morning, good morning. If you're just joining us, my name's Dave. I'm LoFiTrader, baby. We're here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. So hit that subscribe button, baby. You want to see more? You want to see us make some money? Well, we got our levels, and in about 30 minutes at market open, if it wants to give us our levels, we're going to take that. We are going to make some money. So stick with us. I want 380s, 420s on LIPO. So let's bring up LIPO on this right-hand side. LIPO. So we got LIPO, and he says he wants 380s or 420s. Okay, yeah, so I can see that. So the 380s here is that right around that liquidity area. It's just breaking above that liquidity area. So I see what you're saying here. You want to be just above it. You want to be just above the highest traded liquidity area on the volume, which makes a lot of sense because if you're just trying to buy this, it's got so much more room that it could push through for those baggies. So I can see that, and plus $4 being psychological, if you're taking it around the 380s, if it breaks that $4, you could add, still risking the 420s. So I can see that. 36 minutes until market open. Yeah, thanks, Mikey. Yeah, so at least at least you guys are saving my butt. You know, we're not opening at 9, even though that would be crazy if we had market open at 9 o'clock. We'd get a lot more trading time in, but 9:30 is market open, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, hey, sometimes I'm a big talking head and I got 1,000 things going on, huh? So, you know, my bad, you guys, my bad. So we're going to watch LIPO and we're going to see if Mikey's levels work out well for him. Not for us, because that's not our trade, guys. That's his. And if we have our own trade, we're going to mark out our own levels and we're going to find our lines of liquidity and we're going to take our own trade so that way we are responsible for the wins that we win and we are responsible for the losses that we lose. Because how are you going to take somebody else's trade and learn from their losses? You're not. I promise you. I've already traded and tried. Those are trial and true errors that you can learn from right now rather than learning them for yourself the hard way. So the Qs are getting that pullback right back to that downward trend line. Now, I love this downward dog that it's showing. This is called a downward dog pattern. I'm just kidding, it's not. But it is coming down. It is heading down to that trend line. We want to see it bounce. We want to see it hold. We want to see good things for the Qs, guys. We want to see good things for the Qs. We have been seeing a lot of good things for the Qs. So we want to just, SM, good morning. How is TLT looking? Well, let's take a little peeky gander at TLT because we have plenty of time. We're not starting in 1 minute anymore. So good thing we added some extra time there. So TLT, so it's a 20-year, is this a bond, 20-year bond trust fund? Well, anyway, guys, it looks like we're getting some extra volatility here right at this 200-day moving average. So this is looking very interesting because if you look at this area of liquidity, it is trading right at its area of liquidity right now. So if it wants to actually get above this area, which looks like it is pushing above that area, if it wants to get above that area, push higher, then we want to see, and it comes back and retest this area of liquidity, I think that might be a decent trade using a risk, okay? So kind of a cup here on the hourly with a handle. You could use that too, but if you look at the daily, we're seeing a nice cup creating a small handle. It is looking a little choppy though. This is kind of choppy, so be really careful in this chop fest. This thing moves 1.4%, but as you can see, yesterday, let's see what it moved yesterday. It moved double that. 3 days ago, guys, sorry. So CPI really moved this thing like it moved everything else. It moved twice the amount. So CPI brought this thing back down, but it held this area. It was 104. It traded back up, and it tested its area of liquidity, pulled back, created a new higher low on the hourly. So that's its fourth new higher low on this area. So this might be a really nice area to use as risk. I like 107 as a risk. It's a psychological, and it is shaping up like a technical area. So I like TLT. I'm actually not exactly sure what is TLT. It's going to be an ETF for something, and it says it says trust 20-year TRBD. So I'm wondering if that is a bond, 20-year bond or 20-year trust fund. I kind of want to look that up. Let's go ahead and do Google, and let's see Google, and we'll do what is TLT iShares, and maybe that'll give me a little better understanding here of what this ETF is. So yeah, it's a treasury bond. Okay, so 20-year treasury bond ETF. It's 20-year treasury bond. There you go. So these here are going to be very volatile because the government is giving you treasury bonds or allowing you to buy these treasury bonds. And I don't know a lot about this, guys. I don't know a lot about treasury bonds or bonds, but I'm going to tell you what I do know, and you can do some more research, and I will learn more as I progress. But these treasury bonds, guys, are going to go up if the banks are having to pay high yield, right? Or if they're trying to let me focus here. The TLT 20-year trust bonds, they're going to give you more for your money if you buy these trust bonds. Now, back in 2020, they weren't giving you any money for these trust bonds, okay? So that's why it's better to go into speculative stocks because you're giving you more money in your speculative stocks. Now, if people are worried about the market coming down, TLT goes up, right? If you're worried about your S&P 500 going down, your bond should go, or your 20-year bond should go up. So TLT goes up as interest rates go down. Okay, that makes more sense because right now everybody in the market is thinking, hey, the Fed is going to pivot. The Fed is not going to raise interest rates. And if that is the truth, then that would make sense if these 20-year bonds or if these 20-year this 20-year trust fund would go up. So LPSN. So excuse me, LPSN. Excuse me for not having the full awareness of that. That's the first time I actually looked up TLT, and I'm going to have to get a better understanding of how the 20-year Treasury bonds work, or the 20-year Treasury, how all that plays in its role. I usually just stick with the technical analysis, and then the news comes second. But that is very good information to have, so we will definitely take a deeper dive. And I'm going to write that up on the board, SSIM. So that way I have a little bit of learning material. So next time we go over TLT, I'll have a better understanding so that I can regurgitate better information to you guys. We're always going to want to do better. We're always going to want to get stronger here at LoFiTrader. So I'll be the first to tell you if I don't know something, and when I seen that, I could tell you right away. I know very little about that. So that's definitely a great area that I can brush up on, I can learn more on, and that way I can have an even better understanding in this market. So SM, thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution, and thank you so much for that information as well. So let's see, LPSN is over here on the left-hand side. This thing is looking so gross, little pencil. What is this thing? Why are you pointing this out to me, man? This thing is so far below the 200-day moving average, and it had a huge sell-off. So what I do think a lot of people like to point out, and that's why they like these things, is because they like these panic sell-offs. On these panic sell-offs, you usually can get a big snap up. Okay, but you have to understand, this thing just had earnings, it came out, and it just completely crapped on us. So LPSN, Liver Per Sonic Incorporated, just completely gave everything back and trading now at its, at its new lows, it looks like. Yeah, it's never traded in this area before. It's at its brand new lows, trading at $4.95. So that's what I'm seeing for LPSN. I don't see much of a trade for me because I'm not seeing any levels. If you're at the highs or at the lows, I don't have any levels to kind of really go off of, except for like way up here where it was hanging around that 950. So that's what I got for LPSN, low pencil. I'd rather you look at LIPOs because you can see some lines of liquidity up here in these areas. In these areas, you know where to put your buy and where your stop. Now, this thing still needs to trade sideways before you can do a buy-in. So exactly 50. Okay, yeah, exactly 52-week low. So yeah, little pencil likes those 52-week lows. He likes those panic sell-offs. And I'm not good at trading those guys, but I like to watch them. I like to watch how it happened. And that's why we went through these banks here, because these banks had some big sell-offs. You know, Key Bank, we have WAL, huge sell-off, nice little bounce off those sell-off. PACW, huge sell-off, big old bounce off of that, and then selling back off. FRC back down to those all-time lows. You know, so a lot of people like seeing these big panic, these big sell-offs, but I just don't know how to trade those just yet. But I like watching them, so thanks for bringing it up. So ADM, look oversold. Any thoughts? Yeah, let's look at ADM. ADM over here on the top left-hand side. So we're getting some buying action here on ADM. I could draw this trend line out for you. It's it's pretty simple here. It looks like it's breaking this downward trend line. So when I look at ADM, when I look at something like this, it's already below the 200-day moving average. So right away, I think this thing is failing, right? So unless it's above the 200-day moving average, I would say, yeah, let's buy this, but it's below it. So what am I looking at? Well, it looks like we have this upward trend line that I drew here. You can make this anywhere you want, but this is where I put it because it's on all of its lows and it's respected this line most of the time, right? So now it did not respect this in this area. It looked like it did here at this 98.61, a little bounce, but then a big sell-off here, and then another bounce that ran right into that upward trend line and then has sold off again, okay? So now it looks like this, to me personally, would either A, be the best or worst time to buy or sell this, okay? Personally, I like to retest. So if it comes back up anywhere in this area, I'm gonna say all of this right here. If it comes back up in this area like it is, to me, that's looking more on the short side than it is the long side. And I only say that because I know where my risk is. Now, you can risk this bottom as a long, but because it's below the 200-day moving average, I don't trust this stock. So if I look at this stock, I would be looking to take a short on a bounce. And it looks like we're getting that bounce, and I personally would be looking at this thing for a short. Now, I don't know anything about ADM. I don't know anything about the business model, and I don't know anything about its financials. But when I just specifically look at the technicals SSIM, this thing looks more like a short to me than anything, okay? And that's just off technical basis. I could be completely wrong, and these aren't buy or sell recommendations, but what I'm seeing here is an area, for me, look like an area more for a short than anything. Of course, it could shape up because, maybe it just broke through and it's clearing all of its liquidity out. And because it's cleared that liquidity out, now the institutional owners can start buying this thing up for it to head higher. That could be a scenario too, because I'm a bull with bare horns, baby. I want to swipe down, I do. But you got to have those bull horns on as well. So good morning, guys. If you're just joining me, my name is Dave. This is LoFiTrader. We got 22 minutes till market open. I'm getting excited. I hope you're excited too. We're going to run through the indices in just a second, but just keep in mind, guys, if you like this entertainment, this infotainment, if you will, go ahead, leave me a subscribe. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. It helps me out. This is my now full-time job, guys. We're going to be doing this full-time, 100%. I'm giving everything I possibly can into this show. So anything you like, want, or need to know, let me know in the comments, because if I don't know, I'll tell you, and I will definitely do my research on it so I know more about it the next day. So we are here to learn, we are here to listen, we are here to make some money. So what do? We go through the indices and we check and see, hey, what's going on here, what's going on there. We mark our levels, our lines, we find out what's strong, what's weak, what we want to be in, and where we should get in, and of course, where our risk is. You need to know where your risk is before you trade anything. You need to know how much you could possibly lose, or I won't trade it. If I don't know how much I'm going to lose during the trade, then I won't trade it. If I don't know where my risk is, if I don't know where my support or my resistance is, I'm not going to trade it. So that is just my disciplinary rules. They don't have to be yours. But if you're going to be a part of this like-minded trading community, you need to take on a little bit of that, at least, into your trading, because that seems to be what the most successful traders are doing. They are using risk management, and they are using risk as an edge. You can use your risk management as an edge. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe me, read the Schwager books. Read the Market Wizard books. I've read 2 or 3 of them now. I think he's got 4 or 5. I don't even know how many he's got, honestly. But most recently was the Unknown Market Wizards. And one of the guys in there says risk management is his edge. And that is very, very key. It's very, very important to know that, guys. Risk is an edge. So if you know how to use risk management, you can keep showing up every single day back in this market to trade again, to learn from your mistakes. So the IWM, we know the SPY. Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY, we want to see it hold up these new higher lows, this 385 and this 380 area. We want to see it hold. So this pullback is constructive in the overall SPY right now, because we are having a ton of liquidity being traded here. So we want to make sure that these areas want to hold. So if they want to catch a bid, sideways action is good. So it pushed up higher. We had a beautiful pullback that created a new higher low, and then it started pulling back again, creating a new a new lower high and a new higher low. So we want to see this thing coil up, but break and make new highs. Hopefully that'll happen today. If not, well, we have the rest of the trading week. But don't forget, don't sleep on the Fed, because the FOMC meeting is on the 22nd. Okay, so let's take a look at the Qs. Now, you know I like the Qs. The Qs are looking strong. The Qs are looking cute, right? And we have this big breakthrough in the aftermarket. Okay, it actually broke through during market hours, which is a beautiful thing to see on volume. And then after that, it's pulled back on lighter volume, of course. And now we want to see this thing shape up right here on this downward trend line. Because if it doesn't hold this trend line, well, down goes Frazier, right? The next stop would be trying to see if it's going to hold this new higher low. So on the hourly, we are holding new higher lows on volume, and it's looking very constructive. But if we break down this area and we start to head lower, I'm going to say be careful, because the bears might be swiping. So a new higher low is made. Can we see a new higher low on this test of this downward trend line? That would be absolutely amazing. Just like we showed you on Microsoft, I'm looking for the same thing. Right here is this downward trend line that it created. It came back and tested in pre-market, just like we're seeing on the Qs, and this thing said, hold my juice box, because I am about to squeeze. So it's looking very constructive for the overall market, guys. And if you're not excited, I don't know what the heck is going to get you excited. Maybe some low floats popping in here. That'll get Mikey really excited here, guys. So the QQQ's looking strong. Netflix, let's take a look. Now it's coming back to retest that trend line. We are going to hope, in the sake of our 401ks, that this thing's going to head on higher. So we're going to take a look at Microsoft. We just looked at Microsoft, but we can look again. This thing, if it wants to come back and retest this now 260 line, or as long as it's holding this new higher low, I'm going to be happy with Microsoft. Even if we get a big sell-off today and we close at least above this 260, I'm still going to be happy with Microsoft. But if Microsoft wants to continue to heading heading to that higher side, that's A-okay too, guys, because we know Microsoft is going to help bring this market up. Now, Amazon, for that same talk, guys, same talk, real talk right here, real talk, it breaks out. It breaks out. Now we want to see it come back and test this area. If the market wants to just keep on heading higher, that's A-okay too. I'm not going to argue with the market. I definitely will not. I'm not going to, it's going to be solve it more longer than I can. Now the market is here. Can it come back and start testing these areas? So yes, I think I've made it very clear. I'm looking for the market to pull back, retest these areas of liquidity that we broke out from yesterday to prove that we are still strong in this market. Because if this comes back, retests, and then shows, hey, we're not that strong, things aren't as good as they seem, and we flush through it and things sell off really hard and there's a big panic, and then we have a little bounce into this and then it sells off from there, well, then we're in for some very, very bearish action. So be very careful out there. We got GIS. We'll take a look at that in just 1 second. Overall, do you think it's going to be a bearish day today or bullish? Well, you know, I have to be very, very honest with you, unsafe currency. I don't know the real answer. Nobody knows the real answer. And if they actually told you, hey, it's this, well, then you need to understand that they are the liars. They don't really know. But if we go over everything, what I am looking for in the market for the Qs, for tech specifically. So the QQQs, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft, I'm expecting a bearish pullback in the morning, but I'm overall, if we get a bounce off this 197.50, I am bullish. Here, let's go over the Qs. I'll show you how complex this can be, because it can't just be up or down, bud. You know, it can't be up or down. So if it can hold this area of 296, I will be bullish. If it breaks this, I will be bearish. Same thing for the SPY. Look at the SPY. I'm risk off until the SPY gets above this 200-day moving average. Okay, so why am I bullish on the Qs? Well, or why am I giving you all this information on the Qs? Because we're above this 200-day moving average. See this moving average here? We're above it, okay? So if we can stay above this 200-day moving average, I'm risk on, and I'm looking for pullbacks for buy-ins. So we're getting a pullback on the Qs. We want to see it hold this pullback. And why am I looking at the Qs and then looking at everything else? Because everything else that I'm looking at is in the Qs. Netflix is in the Qs. Microsoft is in the Qs. Amazon is in the Qs. Meta is in the Qs. And these are all looking like they need a constructive pullback before they can head higher. So I'll put it this way. I'm bearish in the morning. I'm hoping to be bullish in the evening, but I won't know for sure until after we come and test these levels. So that is my honest and true expectancy for the overall market, unsafe currency. So I hope, it's probably not the answer you wanted, but that is the only true answer I can give, because I'm not going to BS anybody on this show. But I do hope that at least got you to subscribe, brother. So if you want to see me, I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12, giving you the best commentary, analysis, and live trading. If you guys stick around, I probably will take a tasty little spicy little trade, bring the milk, because it might get hot, baby, hot. So let's see what SM. Can you please update on wash rule? If I have sold something at loss, can I sell the same security at a profit? How much rule apply for the same security? I know I cannot buy it back within 30 days for tax loss. So when it comes to these tax questions, I'm really going to have to just push you to a financial advisor, because I can't legally give you that advice. And second off, when it comes to the wash rule, I don't really know. That's the simplest answer. I don't really know enough information, SM, to bring that to the table to give you that financial advice that you want. I rather just look at the charts. So if you can give me a chart, I can give you more information on the wash rule, right? But when it comes to buying and selling for taxes, I can't do that. And I'm so sorry, Sam. I really wish I could help you through and through. But when it comes to tax loss harvesting and things like that, I would definitely ask your financial advisor on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at Nvidia. So Nvidia is getting that pullback. We never really got a breakout on Nvidia. We're just trading at those highs. So Nvidia might need another pullback and another test of this, let's say 230, 240 area. You know, we're trading in its supply, or I'm sorry, in its demand, because anytime we've been in here, it's been its supply. So now if we broke out above it, this might be its supply here. And we are seeing some wicking, but remember guys, it's on the hourly, so that's nice. But we still have some time before market opens. We got About 14 minutes till open. Good morning, Granny Rainey. Good morning. It is good to see you. Hi, friends. Love y'all. Granny Rainey, the juice box squeezer herself. You're in a small cap short. She'll come in and squeeze you like a juice box, baby. Watch out, millions being dropped by Granny Rainey. Good morning, Granny Rainey. I still love you. I still miss you, and you are my guardian angel. Sound good deal. SM, I'm glad that that answer was satisfactory, but you know, I wish I could always bring you more. Let's see what unsafe currency. As soon as you pulled up the QQQs, it started dumping. That was funny. Yeah, I know. I think you are completely right on bearish in the morning is what I think too. Good, unsafe. I'm glad we have like-minded things. We're trying to grow a like-minded community as well, where we can bounce ideas like you just did off of me, because when you ask questions like that, it really gets me thinking. It really helps me solidify what my real and true thoughts are on the market. So I appreciate you asking that. And dude, if you want more, just hit that subscribe button. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 till 12. I also do shorts, live commentary, live trading, and live analysis, guys. You're seeing it here first, all right? You've seen it here first on Meta. You've seen it here first yesterday on Microsoft. We like to catch those pushes. We like to know what's happening first. We want to know what's strong in the market. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned, because we are going to have a doozy for you. We got about 11 minutes till market open. We're going to be ring-a-ding-a-ling that bell, and we're going to keep on carrying on, because that is what we like to do here on LoFiTrader. Well, IWM is really pulling back here. It's really pulling back here. It's down to 171.33, and it is trading towards its lows of the month. Let's look at this. 170.31 were the lows. It's the lows for, it looks like, the year too as well. Guys, we're trading at the lows, and it's trading at 171.33. The lows were 170.38. So be careful. Don't sleep on IWM. This thing could either be a great time to buy or a hold onto your shorts moment. So be careful with IWM. Well, the Qs are giving a nice pullback. We're finally pulling back to that area right there where we want it to be. Will it hold? Will we see a tasty little trade off of that? Or will it continue to pull back with NVIDIA being at its tops and Microsoft also being in an area of liquidity? So this is something I haven't pointed out yet. This is going to be its final boss, is right here, guys. Basically right in this area is its final boss. So if we look, what am I taking? I'm just taking the VWAP area of both of these tops and half of this bottom, so it's more kind of like right there, kind of, you know. I mean, these are all subjective. You can make these as big as you want. You can make these as small as you want. These are just areas that I like to know where they're at. Like, where are we at? Well, this is where we're at, guys. We're at the tops here, and we're at a big area of liquidity where this is going to have to fight through. This is what I would consider its final boss down here around this 200-day moving average. If it can get above this, I'm going to be full bull on Microsoft, because we have 3 new lower highs created. We're trading above a 200-day moving average, and if we can get through all this liquidity, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, we might have a beautiful move to the north side. So, good morning, good morning. This sip of coffee is for you, not for me, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Oh, no, you didn't. I enjoyed that way more than you did, but it's A-okay. Maybe the next sip. Amazon, look at this. Amazon is giving that pullback that we talked about right back into these highs at 95.11. Now, this thing can come all the way back down here into this 94 area of liquidity, but much rather see Amazon, this big boat, this pooper scooper of a stock, hold and head back up to that $100 area. If it can do that, then we're going to be a happy little clam. Now, it looks like Meta is coming back down. I'm rooting for Meta. Come on back down, because Daddy wants to be a part of this trade. I am a daddy, so I'm allowed to say that. So this thing is hopefully, and I say that respectfully just because I want to make money, right? It's going to come down here, hopefully grab us a tasty little 10 shares, holding this top. Why am I using that? Well, simply put, this is the top. It's a triple top area, and I don't like taking these breakouts, even though that would have been a nice breakout. But look, it's giving it all back, and I hope it does, so that way it can pull back, retest this area, get me in for the long. And you know, if this thing does good today, I might just hold this for the long term. Of course, I'll probably sell half the shares, but hey, it's just a small trade, and if we can get this for the long haul, well, the Qs well above the 200-day moving average, well above a 10-day, that is looking a little extended, but hey, this thing might giddy up and go. So I do like these retests, these back tests, and if that wants to happen, then I'll be in. If this thing wants to get in and then break down even more, I'll be out very, very quick. We're only going to take small losses on the show and big satisfactory wins. Next up, NVIDIA. Now breaking down from those highs. This looks like a great spot for a short, risking those tops. But, you know, with NVIDIA being so strong, I wouldn't sleep on this stock. If it is going to pull back and it holds this, say, 138-ish area, 139, we're seeing new lower highs on this hourly, and that can be very, very nice for NVIDIA. Now remember, guys, NVIDIA is very strong in this market, okay? Very, very strong, so be careful. We have 7 minutes till market opens. 7 minutes. I think we get this bell ready this time. We aren't going to mess it up. I can't believe it's already been 30 minutes since the last time we pulled that thing out, but goodness gracious, don't need to knock the dust off because we are here every single day pulling that thing out, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12, and right at 9:30, we ring this ding-a-ling and we get to working, baby, because that's what we like to do. We like to make money. Now, Snap had that big push up this morning. Beautiful. It looks like it's moving, well, this push anyway, looks like it pushed with Meta. Now, we know that those sometimes they can work out and run similar to each other, but they haven't been lately, okay? So what we're seeing here is a nice base here on this $10 area. So if this thing wants to come back and test, I mean, I wish I had some shares in this $10 area. I do, because we are seeing new higher lows on this, but it's not above a 200-day moving average, so I take that back. So we're going to wait. We're going to see how this thing wants to shape up, and we're going to see where it wants to go. Now, Tesla, I didn't talk too much about Tesla. Rabia, I hope you're still in here because you are a Tesla lover when you come to trading it as well. But look at this, guys. So Tesla was sleeping yesterday. Tesla did not move much at all compared to the overall market. When we had all the tech moving, Tesla kind of just lingered around like a smelly fart under the covers. We didn't get a big push out of this thing. We got a small push out of this thing right here, and then after that small push, it actually came back and tested this area, which was a nice trade. It pulled back a little more than I anticipated, but it did end up heading on higher. Now it's heading on higher, but it's not doing much at all. I mean, this thing is barely moving, and it usually moves about 4.8%. Yesterday, its biggest move was 3.4% was its biggest move. So this thing is not moving at all. So Alex, good morning. You are 5 minutes early. Goodness, dude. How are you doing? I'm glad to see you, Alex. Dude, I got to give Alex a shout out, guys, just for a quick second. Alex has created this Discord, and I'm actually going to post this Discord up here. He created this Discord for LoFiTrader. And guys, if you guys want to be a part of this, it's absolutely free. Alex was in there yesterday helping out our boy New Vision Willis. I hope you're here, brother. Doesn't seem like he's popped in just yet, but he was helping one of our newer traders. And you know, I can't do everything, so it's good to have awesome help like Alex because he really knows what he's talking about. Yesterday I went through and I seen everything he was saying, and he's preaching the same stuff I am, guys. We're trying to protect the traders first, and we're trying to make money, guys. So that's the two things that we're trying to do. So if you have questions and you got something you want to share, or you want to share your chart, or you want to just keep up on what we're doing outside of the market, well, you can keep in contact with that Discord that I posted in the chat. If you guys want to join, it's absolutely free. There's only 3 things I'll ever ask of you guys, and that's hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and what was the third one? Oh yeah, that's right. Be here early for pre-market prep. Alex, I'm glad you can make it, brother. We only got 4 minutes left, Alex, well, 3 minutes left, actually, until the market opens, so I'm glad you can make it. Good morning, good morning. Let's take a sip, Shawana, for Alex. Alex, this one is for you. I do appreciate all your help. I do appreciate everything you do for this community, so cheers to you, brother. That's what we love, guys. We love to see this community. It's getting put together. It's getting pieced together here and there, and we are starting to grow absolutely very, very fast. Way faster than I expected. We are up to 330 subscribers, guys, and we've been open for like 5 weeks. I don't even know how long we've been open. 5 weeks. I mean, in that expectancy, we will be able to get to that 1,000 subscribers and start getting paid for YouTube content. We will start getting paid for our YouTube content after 1,000 subscribers. So that's amazing news, guys. And I also have plenty more surprises coming to you. So we're going to be upgrading the mic to getting a very, very nice mic. We're going to make sure that we have all the sound quality just absolutely crispy. I'm going to be bringing you better and better. Let's see. We back up, guys? No! I hope you guys are in it to win it like I am, and I hope you are back on stream. We are in those 10 shares right when it came back down. It touched that 197.50 area that we wanted to get it in. We are in at 197.58 at 10 shares. Can this thing hold off and keep on heading higher? Joshi, good morning. I hope everything is live. I hope everything is good to go. It looks like my connection says it's excellent. Let's hope that we can take care of everything. It looks like we are live and things are doing well. So I'm sorry you guys missed the market open, but we still have everybody we need in this room, because if you like it, if you love it, if you want some more of it, hit that like, hit that subscribe, baby. We might have minor hiccups, but that's a-okay. We're going to come back like a phenom crack. Yes, we are going to do it, baby. Now we are in these shares short or long on Meta, but we aren't going to settle for a loss. So what we're going to do is, if this thing wants to pull back even harder than this area that I bought it up at, you guys were here in pre-market prep. I laid this line, I laid this level out for you guys. What did I do? Simple enough. I set this here, I set my buy order, it came in, it bought in right away, and then it did what it needed to do. Let me focus up, because we did get an ONCS, if you guys remember that, and we're going to go ahead, since we're in ONCS, and I'm going to set my stop right here at this 222. So we're using 10 shares as a stop. We're only in ONCS because it's holding this area. If you guys were here for pre-market prep, you'll see why I'm in this very low float speculative account, but I'm only in it for a short time, only in it for a good time, not a long time, guys, because ONCS can rip your face off. We only have a few million in the float on this, okay? So thank you for coming back. We already got 13 of you back. That's amazing to see. Amazing to see that, guys. You know, we have these hiccups and we have everybody disappear, boom, and then you're back, you're back, you're back. Thank you guys so much for your true dedication. Now, if you guys were here for pre-market prep, it was simple. I laid out these lines for you and I put a buy order right here, never touched it. What did it do? It came down, it touched that, and it went to the moon for us. Right now, we're already up $17.40. This thing's gonna flag back and forth, but if it wants to come back down, that's okay. It can come all the way back down and break us for break even, because I like this area. Now, ONCS, it has stopped me out. I'm a-okay with that. We took a 60-cent loss. 60 cent, guys. That's going to cost me my creamer and my coffee. Good thing I don't use creamer. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Joshi. It's good to see you. Dow Jones intraday target 3157. He's throwing up what he wants and what he wants to take. We're going to see if what we want to take is going to make us some money. So, let's run through the indices. I'll go ahead and leave Meta over here on this side. We're also going to take and use this as our stop, because 197.58, I don't want to lose. I want to use that as my 197.58 as my sell. So if I break even, then hey, I break even. I'm okay with that. But I got the shares that I wanted. I seen the tests that I wanted, and we seen a beautiful pop up from there. So it did exactly what I anticipated, but I'm expecting a bigger move on Meta. We wanted to see this test so we could buy into this thing for the longer haul. If this thing wants to stop me out, that's a-okay. We can revisit this at another time to see how it shapes up to rebuy in. So we're on the Qs, guys, on the Qs, and it does have that pullback. It is breaking through. Will it find a new higher low? Now, I did this on NVIDIA. I'll do this here for you, but it does look like this uptrend is being broke down. Now, I don't really care to leave this on here, because every time I draw, we end up having to erase this crap. Now, if you guys are watching something that I'm not, please let me know in chat. I'll be happy to go over it. Let's see how LIPO is doing. It doesn't look like LIPO is doing much. It's just trading sideways right off the rippity skip. So we're going to see what it wants to do. Meta's still trading above that buy-in area that we marked out in pre-market. NVIDIA looked like it's still coming down to this uptrend line. Now, will it hold this uptrend line? That will be a very interesting thing to see. If it wants to hold this uptrend line and it wants to be strong, then we might see a pretty little trade for NVIDIA. This might be a nice buy, but these aren't buy sell recommendations. I'm just that big talking shin on the air. Look at Snap. Oh my goodness, Snap coming all the way back down to that buy-in area that I would like to see. This 1047 does look very interesting. Guys, I'm getting excited. It is time to rise up. We are bringing the desk up. You know things are getting for real, especially when we get hiccups in the OBS live stream. You know I gotta stand up, because things are gonna get exciting as Meta now trading at 198.74 doesn't want to hold, and it looks like Snap is trying to find a bid down here right at its breakout area at 1038. So this might be a great time to buy Snap, but what do I know? I'm just a big talking head. These aren't buy sell recommendations. So Meta looks like it's trying to push more. Let's keep on flying through this to see NVIDIA right down here at 239.59. That is looking absolutely scrumptious for NVDA. Can we see a bid on NVIDIA. If not, we might see this stock move a lot lower. So we're going to see, because the NVIDIA was trading at its all-time highs, where Meta was looking a little stronger, breaking, not all-time highs, but 52-week highs, and now breaking that on Meta, pulling back, retesting its tops, and then taking off higher. Will it hold those tops after it came back and retested? Only time is going to tell, but we are holding off to see what is going to happen here. I believe if NVIDIA buys, if it finds a nice bid there, I think it's going to head higher. It looks like Snap is finding a small bid. What about Tesla here? Tesla came back down to retest. We talked about this retest in this area. It is looking a little skeptical, but we know if these want to see lots of soaking here and it wants to keep buying, Tesla might be able to hold up in this area. How's Apple? Delicious and nutritious. Our good friend Apple is still trading above the 10-day moving average, which is extremely strong in my book. If it wants to keep on keeping on, I'm okay with that. Let the Apple bring the market back to its full potential. That would be great. It is looking kind of like a scallop here. It is trading on that 10-day moving average. Can it hold? If it does, we might see a bigger expected move. Now, Google's still holding up there at its highs for the year, I believe. Let's take a look. Not for the year, but it's still trying to break above those highs for the past current weeks. John Shield is in the building. Heiser's in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's go over that really quick. So Heiser winning a soccer game yesterday. Glad to see you back in here. Glad to see you in one piece. I know it can be extremely volatile on the body. THMO halted. Let's go ahead and bring up THMO over here on this right-hand side. So THMO, it looked like it halted into the upside, but guys, we pointed this out for you. This pop might be a drop, right? So we talked about all this liquidity, and then it sold off hard. Remember that? We watched it in pre-market as it happened. It sold off hard, and then I said, if this thing catches a bid and wants to pop back up here, we need to be careful around this 574 because it might fail. So THMO is halted right now. Thank you for the news, Heiser. Much appreciated. Joshi has his levels up there for SPY. He's got a target of 391, stop loss at 381. Looking good. Good above 385. He likes that. Let's see. John Shields, hey, in the house. John Shields in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Protect your cups. This guy is I don't know where I was going to go with that. But John Shields is in the building. Good morning, John. It's always good to see you in here, and always good to hear from you. Is there anything that you're watching in the market? Is there anything that you are trying to trade? Let me know. I would love to know more about it. Did all the news come out already? Yes, all the news did come out at 8:30. We were on top of it. We may have been a few minutes behind, but hey, you know, there's going to be hiccups in this, just as you see with the OBS stream coming down, but it's okay. We keep on carrying on. So right here is the economic data, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like our U.S. initial jobs are showing that we have more, or I should say less jobs than what was forecasted. Okay, what does that mean? That means that people are still working, the economy is still strong, and inflation is still real. If people still keep making money and keep on wanting to, if you keep on making money, they're going to keep on spending money, and they're going to keep on spending it on things, which makes things move up higher because their demand is still high. That's just the properties of the buy and the sell, the supply and the demand world. So when we see these initial jobless claims and they are still high, if they are still, it's still showing that people are, it's still showing it that it's low and people are still have their jobs and nobody's losing their jobs, or if they are losing their jobs, like these mass layoffs, they're going other places because there's plenty of places that are hiring. Okay, so that being said, this should look overall bad for the market. It really should, but this did not move the market at all when that data came out. The market doesn't seem to give a crap about bad news. And the SPY is finally catching a bid now, trading at 387.56, looking good here in this area. We had a sell-off this morning, but it caught a bid close to that VWAP area at 386. Let's look at the overall market and see how everything is doing. So the Qs, are we starting to see a bounce? We are. Let's take a look at the 1 hour to see how nice, or the 15 minute to see how this wick looks. So this week we are seeing a nice little wicky wick offerson on the bottom, but remember, it is still early. We are only 9 minutes into the trading day. So keep that in mind, guys. When you see these wicks, we are still trying to figure out a way to go. But we did want to see this test. We are seeing a test. We are seeing wicks off on the bottom, and we are seeing things start to hold. So things are looking on our sides right now. So let me go through my trades because we are in AI. So AI, we are actually up a few bucks. This is giving me my overall from yesterday. So we are actually up probably about $1.50 or up a creamer on this trade. So we're still going to hold out for AI and see where this wants to head. It is making new higher lows. We are using this down here, this 2022 area, as my stop loss. All right, so let's go through ONCS. As you guys know, I stopped out of ONCS because it came down and broke my area of support, which I'm totally okay with taking that 60-cent loss because these are very speculative trades and they are very, very hard to trade penny cap stocks. But what do we have over here for Meta? Our good old homeboy Meta. It came right down. You guys see me in pre-market prep make these levels out for you. I'm very proud of this trade, and I will probably talk about it quite often because this is the type of trading we want, guys. This is exactly what we want. In pre-market, I identified my levels, and I was not going to take a trade until it touched my levels. Well, what did it do? It came right down. I didn't even do anything, guys. I literally set that in pre-market to buy if it touched that level. And first thing in this morning, it came down and touched that level. I bought this 10 shares at $197.58. This stock came down to $197.40. Okay, so you guys gotta understand, I was 18-cent range, like literally 18 cents. That's really, really good, and that's not magic. I'm not bragging. I'm just showing you this works. Okay, this works. It's simple and it works. So I want this retest. I got this retest. If I thought, oh my gosh, this thing is going to take off like crazy and I bought 10 shares in here, well, I would have been down about $30 when it came down to this area, guys. You know, 30 bucks? No, I'd be sweating. I'd be exiting out in this area. So instead, I waited for it to come down and retest, and I told myself, if it comes down and retests, I don't really care. I don't really care if it doesn't, if this thing wants to take off. So it did. It came back. It got me in immediately. I didn't have to touch it. I already had the bid sitting there. And then, boom. Next thing you know, we're up $23.50 on this trade. And I'd like to hold to see the bigger move. Now, if this thing wants to come back out and stop me out at the same place I bought it in at, hey, that's fine. That's A-okay. This was a free trade, and it was worth the risk, right? It was worth the risk, guys. So I'm in it, and I didn't even have to sweat. That is a beautiful trade. As the Qs are showing proof of concept, we are seeing a bounce off this area that is looking really, really good for the overall Qs, which might help drag up the SPYs, which are going to be having a hard time because of the financial sector, and the IWM should be having a hard time because of the financial sector. So if we can hold this new area right here, guys, that is looking absolutely scrumptious. Let me just go ahead and do this so that way we have a better understanding, because this thing could still come down to this 385 area today. It still can come down. It'll still look good. So let's go ahead and keep up on the chat, and then we will go over everything one more time. So Joshi's spitting out some game. That's right, baby. Oh, Bitcoin. Yeah, we need to take a look at Bitcoin. Let me pull up Bitcoin for you guys. I haven't pulled up the charts for Bitcoin just yet, so give me 1 second. This thing's warming up, this old thing. So I think I have it up already, actually. Nope, that's CAR, so BTC. Let's take a look at our friend Bitcoin. So guys, this looked really, really good for Bitcoin. So why do I say that? Well, we had this beautiful breakout here at this top, and it came back and retested, right? And I'm pretty sure, I forget if it was a Mire or Rabia, but we were talking about this dip right around this area. We were talking about buying this dip up in your Riot, in your Maras, you know, in your blockchain type stocks in equities that mine for this. Now look at this. This looks really, really good, guys. This over here is our hourly. So this hourly means it pushed back up, it tried to break through, it's coming back, and now it's testing these areas to see if it wants to head higher. This is also a top on this area too. So this looks really, really good for these areas. And you know what that makes me want to do? It makes me want to go back here and revisit RIOT. Let's look at Riot. Now look at Riot's looking kind of like the same coil up here. It's also matching these tops, so it's testing these areas, and now we're seeing some liquidity pool in. Look at this base down here, guys. So we see all this liquidity traded out right here until we had this, until, you know, Bitcoin topped out and it started trading down. Now we are trading above the 200-day moving average, above this. Look at this beautiful base. This $6.50 looks like a great risk. And you know what, guys? I think I want to take a swing trade on this. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to risk small, but I'm going to take a swing trade on this. So we have 25 cents on this, so we can risk 4 shares per dollar. So how many shares do I want to risk? If we're going to do 4 shares per dollar, let's do 4 shares per dollar. So we can get, we'll just join in for, let's do 30 shares. We'll do 30 shares here. And we'll see if we can't get in on that. I do like this. It's trading right around that VWAP area, but I like this 6.5. I like to see the 6.5 hold. It looks like a nice area because this is all of its base. It's base top. Now this is going to be this won't be a hard sale or a hard sell. This will just be a all right, there we go. We're finally in. Goodness. I stutter step while I'm sitting there waiting for my bid to get in, guys. That's going to be the hardest part about all this. So we're in 30 shares of Riot because I do like to where Bitcoin is going, RIOT, and we're going to just hold on to this thing. It's small share size. I'm not risking a whole bunch, guys. If this thing wants to fail on me, no big deal. So we'll just, we can calculate this since I didn't really calculate it that good. So we're going to do 30 times 6.79, all right, and that gives us 203, and then we go clear this out, and we do, if it breaks this, 650, we're going to multiply that by 30. All right, so we're only risking about 20 bucks there, so that's perfect, guys. We're risking $20 on this trade. I like it. And we're gonna see, what comes of this. So we'll put the stop in case we get a quick flush. We'll just put the stop on this just in case we get a quick flush. But I do like Bitcoin. I do like it sitting here. This isn't, I only have this hard stop in case it flushes too hard too fast and I don't see it. But, after hours and stuff, I'll be holding this for a while. But look at this flush we're getting on Meta, right back down to the area I bought it in. I have my stop set right there on where I bought it in. And look at this. It got soaked up right before it stopped me out. So this thing might stop us out here on Meta. What are we seeing? Let's run through the indices. SPY moving. Good morning, David. Good morning, Jim Dickey. It's good to see you in here. Yeah, the Qs are getting that pullback right back down on that area. So is it going to hold out? Let's see if we can find some more information on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA did look like it held that area. It pulled back down. It looks like it's trying to hold. Will we see this thing hold? Or are we going to see bigger pullback in the market? If we do, we are set up here, guys. We are set up to stop out at break even on these trades so we don't lose any money on this. So we got NVIDIA trying to pull back. It looks like it is trying to move these markets as Snap did that. Oh, look at it. Snap down and snap right back up. That looks absolutely beautiful for Snap. So if you're holding Snap, good for you. Good for you. Looks like we're only up $5.75 now on that Meta trade. We're looking for the bigger expected move, trying to see if we want to push any higher as Tesla pulled back down to 179.32. Goodness gracious, can it hold this area, or are we going to see Tesla start to push lower? Now Apple's going to be a big weighted index in this area, and we knew we were at those tops today, and we wanted to see this hold new lower highs on the hourly, and it looks like right now it is trying to do that, but only time's going to tell, guys, because it is squatting down on this area. Let me take a sip, Shawana. I'm telling you, that's good coffee. It's cold, but it's good. And I tell you what, I do hope we get that amazing sponsor by Silly Sips. Bringing more awareness to children's mental health is something that I can get behind. So I hope we do meet up with them. I hope we do get a nice little sponsor from them, because I would like to take a happy little sip of coffee, or a silly sip of coffee, if you will, each 5 seconds and talk a little bit about children's mental health, just like I am now. Because guys, it's something I can definitely get behind. And even if they don't sponsor me, it's something that I can still get behind. I still like to talk about. I still like to bring it up, because we all have had issues when we're younger, but some have it a lot more worse than others. And it's good to just be aware of that. It'll help reduce a lot of pain and anxiety, and it'll help you be more open to seeing these kids that might need help. You might be a good lending ear or a helping hand to somebody that needs it. As long as we get the awareness out there, that is what's going to do us great. So Qs look like it's pulling back. We are seeing the bounce off that downward trend line, and we are seeing the pull. We are seeing wicking on the Qs on the 5 minute. We are seeing wicking on Meta on the 5 minute. We are seeing wicking on NFlix, also bouncing off that upward trend line. So we're seeing this proof of concept all around. Now, Microsoft still needs to go down here and test this area, so it might be weighing down the overall push to the north side, but Microsoft's still pulling back. It looks like this 262.87, I like this 262 area. If it can catch a bid here and move with the rest of the indices, we might be able to head higher. Now look at this, old pooper scooper Amazon did come back and bounce off of this area. Guys, I can't make this crap up. I have it drawn out for you in pre-market. Don't believe it, head on back and look at me plot this line. We even talked about this. If we can see Amazon come back and test and see this thing move higher, I won't be calling this thing a pooper scooper of a stock if it makes above that $100 area. So guys, good morning, good morning. If you're just joining, I'm Dave. This is LoFiTrader. We are here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12, doing this exact thing, giving you the technical lines, giving you the data. We talked about the jobless claims data that came out today that was less than expected. We talked about the lines and the levels and the pullbacks and the trades that we could possibly take. And guys, that's exactly what we did here. You can see this on Amazon. You can see this on Meta, the trade I'm in right now that got us in on that pullback, a hands-free trade that we are still in. Okay, let's take a look at NVIDIA now. NVIDIA, we drew these lines out for you guys right here before market open, and look at this. How true and how much better can this get? Now, if you got in right here, know that there is a top up here, okay? So we're probably gonna see some sell-off. This thing can bounce and chop around in here the rest of the day, but what we wanted to see is this bounce. We got that bounce. Now can we see it hold these areas? That would be a great thing. As Meta comes right back down with the overall market looking good, Meta's like, hang on, we need to clear this liquidity off the bottom. It might come back down, stop us out of this trade, and then it'll show us what it really wants to do. But if that's its true colors and it wants to get us out, that's a-okay, Meta, because you aren't taking any money from me. Now we are still seeing wicking off that bottom. Those might be great areas to add, but my risk is 10 shares and we are already in it to win it. So I really like this trade still on Meta, and I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm just gonna sit here, sit back, relax, and watch. Now Snap, goodness gracious, now I kind of wish I bought some of that panic buy off that, but I didn't want to just go all in on a quick buy like that. That's been getting me hurt lately, so I'm staying away from that, and we're just hanging around in Meta to see if it wants to continue to show its strength as it pulls back. Lots of big wicks, lots of selling off action here, so it might head on down. Well, Tesla is also bouncing off that 179 area that we talked about this morning. Goodness gracious, Meta's trading at 180.60. It hasn't given us any type of really sign or showing that it is very, very strong in the overall tech sector. It's kind of just lingering around like a fart under the covers, ready to be released. Now, it looks like Apple is bouncing off that trend line that we drew. It is pulling up, and it is looking strong in this market, but it needs to hold this. Just because we're getting that bounce, we expected a bounce, and we know a bounce was going to be there, but how high and how true and how far can this bounce lead us? Can it break out of this sloppy toppy right here at 153 even? If it can break out of the sloppy toppy, then we can head on higher. But if it bounces and it starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter, this is going to be even more interesting as it tightens up. So if this thing wants to head on higher, if it just wants to trade sideways, you know just as well as I do that sideways action can be great for the bulls. So let me make sure we're caught up. ChatGPT 4 released 2 days ago. Yeah, ChatGPT, I love ChatGPT. I've used it for multiple things. Matter of fact, if you guys look at my pictures, in the beginning, I was using all pictures that were from DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E, and that was all pictures generated by AI. I really do like when these things generate. I like how you can type different things in, you can get different things, and you can make it look as artistic as you want. It's absolutely awesome. But ChatGPT, I actually use to help make a cover letter okay, we are stopped out, 40-cent loss there on Meta, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because it's just now breaking that 197 area, that test of that 197 area. So I almost want to get back in on this big pullback because everything's looking very strong here. Everything's looking strong except for Meta. Meta is just pulling back to that buy-in area, and it makes me want to get in just one more time to see if we can't hold on to this, because I think it just came down here to clear this level of liquidity, and it looks like that's exactly what it's going to do. Now we're back in Meta, and we're going to keep an eye on this. We're not going to give too much of this back because everything in the market is looking overall scrumptious and strong. So if Meta wants to keep heading down to the downside, I might have to find a different stock to try and long, because Meta should be shaping up here, and it is not. It is starting to head down. So those levels were great. Maybe I should have got a little bit out at that top before we wanted to head back down. Now it looks like Meta doesn't want to shape up in this area. We're up about $2.58 on this stock, but that's why it is nice having stop losses, guys. You can take small losses and get back in if you want to. I'd rather take a loss than this thing flush down super hard on me and knock me out of the park, right? This thing could just go, it could flush. You could have a big buyer that says, nope, I'm done with Meta, I'm out of this, and I'm completely over it, you know? So if we don't see any buying power come in here to soak up in this area that I bought again, I will get out again, because I'd rather take a small loss than lose big. I'd rather take big wins, small losses, guys. That's how that works. So we're gonna keep an eye on it and see what comes of it in this area. But I'm not seeing a lot of volume come in this area as I would expect. So we're gonna see what wants to happen here, because at these lows it can be treacherous, because after it breaks this area, you know, we have a lot of room to come down. We come down to 193 if we wanted to for breaking this area. So now it looks like we're getting a nice bounce on Tesla. Here we go, 181.84 on Tesla, back at yesterday's, almost back at yesterday's highs, almost back to pre-market highs. We're gonna see where that one wants to go. Now Snap up 7.45% already today. It's a good thing we brought this and put this on our stock watch list, because we knew it was looking tasty down here. As we speak, it's now trading at 11.16, pushing up ever higher. Wow, looking great. NVIDIA, what a beautiful bounce. Now trading back at its highs. Don't sleep on this market, guys, because right when you think you're going to see a significant pullback, this thing starts lighting up. Bells and whistles are going off. NVIDIA now back up at its highs at 242.45. Be careful, because if this thing breaks out, it might get some major legs. You'll see a Usain Bolt out of this stock going skyrocket. So be careful in your shorts if you're in any shorts, guys. So here we go, Snap. Hey, Alex, what are you looking at, brother? There should be, oh goodness, I think I missed a lot on the chat. DCFC, John, are you still in here, brother? My bad, dude. So let's take a peeky gander at DCFC. DCFC, that's not looking too good, John. It looks like it's well below that 200-day moving average. We're getting a little pop, but it is illiquid. We can't trade these things. It'll be hard to get in and out of DCFC. Please do a read my message sent on yesterday's stream on YouTube whenever you get time. Please do reread my message sent on yesterday's stream on YouTube. Okay, I won't be able to go back and find those messages. It'll take me too long. I'm just a big talking head here. It's going to be quick, snappy, if you will, and then I can ticky-talk about it, but it needs to have a lot of, and I need to have some context in the actual thing. So if you want to go back and redo it, I can see if that's something I want to repeat. So Apple, right back here at these highs, I drew this line out, guys. It's going to test this area. Now, it can test, it can pull back and get tighter and tighter here, but if it wants to break out on volume with the overall market looking absolutely amazing right now in the tech sector, then this might get some legs and head on even higher. So the QQQs looks like that bounce was absolutely beautiful. Maybe I should have went full count on the TQs, but hey, we're going to see what happens here as Netflix is still wicking off that retest on that bottom. Microsoft still pulling back. We talked about this, guys. If this Microsoft wants to keep pulling back, it can come check this 162.50 area, but it looks like it is doing some wicking on the 15 minutes still in this area of liquidity. So that looks really good for Microsoft right now. Now, guys, keep in mind, we've only been open for 30 minutes, and it looks like the market is already wanting to find a good direction here. And if it is to the north side, we do have our shares in Meta to try and extrapolate some money from this market. Now, Amazon, goodness gracious, we might have to rename this baby if it wants to keep on heading higher, because Amazidian is looking absolutely scrumptious up here at 97.33, breaking all of these areas after it came down and retested this area. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. You love to see Amazon finally doing something constructive and doing exactly as we called it on pre-market. And that's why you need to be here, guys. Be here for pre-market so you can see these levels, so you can see these lines, so you can take the trades and make some money. I don't know what you're doing if you're not here for pre-market prep, guys. If you're doing what Alex is doing, it's sleeping. And I don't want you sleeping on them. Let's stay awake and alert. Be here when I'm here at 8 in the morning, baby. That's when we start. We give ourselves an hour and a half for pre-market prep so we can see the things come in, so we can see LIPO come in, so we can take our trades and figure out where the technical data shows, so we can find out where we want in or where we don't. Let's go ahead and run through these indices. Well, the SPY is now trading at 388.47. That looks very, very good for the SPY, trading above the VWAP area, trying to hold this trend line. But remember, guys, this SPY can still come down and test 385, 386 area and still look okay, still look constructive. But right now it is trading at 388.54 and it's looking overall pretty well for the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs because we know this tech heavy. We want to continue to see this bounce. So it is trading by its pre-market highs, which is very, very good because that's where we want to see it keep coming up, to keep testing, to keep pushing higher, to keep showing us proof that this is still tech strong. So NFLX looks like it is starting to pull back now a little bit at 304 even. We're going to see what comes of that. As we talked about Microsoft, it's still wicking off on the 15-minute in today's trading area. For the past 30 minutes, we'll look up HIMS here. Just, yeah, Google is running fast, definitely. Let's go ahead and bring up Google really quick. Yes, Google is pushing up and it's pushing hard. It's pushing fast. It's at its highest level, actually. It's right here at this double top, guys. So I'm going to draw this double top out here. And because we had liquidity come up here so fast, I can expect a little pullback from this area. So what can we do if we can expect a pullback? Well, we could take a little short trade if we expect a little pullback. But what I much rather see with this overall strengthly market is Google push up through this area, act like it's not there, and then, you guessed it, pull back, retest this 97.69 area, and then we could take a little tasty trade to the north side. But with this market looking strong, with my expectancy on the bullish side after it came back and tested this area of liquidity, I'm expecting it to keep on carrying on and then pull back a little later in the day. So Google looking absolutely great. Joshi, thank you for bringing that. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was yeah, Joshi, thanks for bringing that up. Snap, new high a day. That's awesome. We love to see Snap up there. SNAP looking like a new high a day. That's absolutely great, guys. We want to see that for Snap. I do like Snap. I do believe in Snap. But we want to see Snap try to hold these areas. So keep that in mind. So let's take a look at HIMS. HIMS. We looked up HIMS before. Look at this beautiful thing, guys. Above the 200-day moving average, it looks like it's found a new base here. Not a new base, but it found a bid down here at $8.43. It's looking constructive, but you know, I don't know much about this company. This says HERS and HIMS. The last time I looked this up, I thought it was one of those blue pill stocks. You know, I'm not 100% sure about the stock, but when you are looking at something like this, it does move 5.9%. So it is an active mover. It does look like it is a liquid stock, so you can easily get in and out. The spread's only 1 penny, so it is a liquid stock. And so that being said, guys, this looks like if it wants to create a base and wants to show us a good risk reward level, maybe this 827, but it's still, you know, it's about $1 away from it right now. But if HIMS wants to show its true colors and trade sideways and start pushing up higher, this doesn't look too bad here, guys. I mean, it's above the 200, a curling 200-day moving average, creating new higher lows in a market environment that is stressful. So with that being said, guys, keep in mind that HIMS does look like it's constructing, or it does look constructive, but I don't see it really basing down on any 10, 21, or 30-day moving averages that I personally like to see. So we will see what comes of that. Meta back down here at 197.80, looking kind of weak compared to the rest of the market. So Meta has that pullback while Nvidia is at its highest day of trading, as Snap is pulling back a little bit, but still looking strong. Tesla at its high, well, at its highs of yesterday and pre-market highs. We have Apple breaking out of its highs, and now looks like it's going to come back and test this area, or it's going to continue. We're going to have to see for Apple, but that looks good. that looks good for Apple. That could be a nice little breakout there. You know, I'm not going to take that. If it breaks up to 154 and then comes back and tests 153, then you'll see me in it for a small share size. But other than that, now Google looks like it's right at those highs. That looks like we were talking, right at these highs. Now that's looking like that could give us a nice little pullback there to try and maybe retest something in this 96.55 area. But I much rather see Google head higher. I can't will it up any higher, but if it wants to drag the overall tech sector up higher with it, that's going to give more sentiment for Meta to break out to the north side. But what I am seeing, guys, is a lot of sell-off this morning for Meta in this area, which is kind of good news because we're at the highs and people are taking profit, we can expect this. But because people are taking all this profit and it's holding this 197 area, it's making me like this. Even though we are still down here in this trading area, I still have hope for this stock. So I am going to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to take a big loss. I'll wait till it shapes up instead of trying to cherry pick the bottom. And you know, if it wants to break this, I'll just go ahead and get out for a small loss. If it wants to break this area, that's fine. But I will be keeping an eye on this to see if I can't take a bigger expected win. So I'm going to have to put my stop loss here in case it wants to wick down hard and fast. But if it gets me out, if it wants to stop me out, I'm okay with that as long as I can keep an eye on it to try and get that move in case it starts to head higher. So Google, we are getting that pullback there. Now I wanted to will this upon the market and make sure that this thing didn't pull back, so it head higher, so it brought my Meta up higher, but it doesn't seem to be working. Now Apple looks like it is wicking off on those tops, so maybe we do get a bigger expected pullback in the market than we want to see. So now I'm down on Meta. So we did sell Meta. We got a $3.80 loss on Meta. That is nothing for a loss when we want to see $50 winners or more. So that was a good trade for me on Meta. We're going to see what it wants to do down here in these areas. Like I said, it can still come down to this 190, 194 area. You know, that would look really, really nice. Now, I am learning from that. After that quick wick and a quick buy up, maybe I should have taken half of my shares. So that way, if it did pull back, I could have added. But, you know, it is what it is, guys. We took a small loss on this, and I will review it after we're done. So if you guys want me to take a look at anything, New Vision, when did you get here? It says SPY is moving. I knew you were here, or I didn't know you were here, but I did see the comment. So let's just bring up SPY. New Vision, it's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're in here. I hope you are happy and healthy as long as the rest of your family is too. Well, I want you to be even if your family's not, but you know what I mean. Big talking head here. Sometimes I get it going, and you know I love to talk. The SPY is trading at 387.22. It's having a constructive pullback. We talked about it could come all the way back to this 385 area. If it comes back to this 385 area, it's still looking constructive. It could bounce off of that. It could definitely bounce off of that uptrend area and still be considered constructive. Now, I'm good to see this is why we have stop loss, guys. We're out of Meta and it's still breaking down. So we're going to see where it wants to catch a nice little foothold. But because I am not playing this anymore, or because I'm out of this, I need to understand that if this bounce comes down too far, then it's not a bounce off this 197.50. Okay, then it's a new higher low and I'm trading off of something else. So I played that bounce. We lost on that bounce. Even though we were up $25, I didn't get any of my shares out. We're down $3.80 on this stock in general. So let's look at our other trades. So we're in Riot. If you guys remember, we got in Riot. We're up about 15 cents in Riot. I can go ahead and mark where we're at 679. Okay, it's trading at 680 right now. So we're going to see what this wants to do, because if it wants to pull back and fail, then that's a-okay. We have our stop loss out down here for about $20. If it comes down too hard too fast, I might exit, you know, half of my trade there. But I do like the way Bitcoin is looking. It's looking constructive in this area, creating new higher lows now on the hourly. And if you look at the daily here, it looks like it has broke through and it's came back and now is retesting this top and retesting this top. So if this looks like a big old cup and handle, you can call it that. This, not so much. It still looks really choppy for me when it comes to that. But I took a small share in Riot because it looks like out of the miners, it is one of the most constructive looking miners. So guys, if I'm looking at something that you don't want to see, or you want me to look at something that you are looking at, let me know in the chat. Don't be shy. But since we're going to tickety talk about it, let me just bring up the fact that on my screen here, I have my pretty little face, And if we scroll down, we can smash this like button here, guys. This like button is looking absolutely scrumptious. It is addicting. Just make sure when you're done pressing it, it is lit up like this. So that way it does give me the like. So, and every time I do this, somebody unlikes it and lets me comment about it. You turds, yeah, there you go. You're a turd, whoever's doing that. But you know, I love it. I like you guys pulling my chain. But while you're down here, guys, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. And I love doing this. You'll never see anybody out here as passionate as me on this live commentary. The live analysis, and of course I give you live trading here, guys. It's been a little bit of a slower morning this morning. Not too much going on, not too many things going on. But guys, we are trading. We are still trading. We are still waiting for those actionable trades, so that way we can take them, we can get into them, and we can be the players that we want to be. Now, Nvidia trading at those highs at 243.40, and it looks like it's seeing a little bit of sell off, but it is hanging out in those areas, and it is looking constructive. As Snap pulling back to 1082. Let's scroll back up here. I'm going to go ahead and get on Facebook and get back into that live trading room, so that way we can make sure we are advertising to all the people that we need to advertise to. So back to sharing my screen, back to bringing this up, and there we go. All right. So if we go ahead and take a little peeky gander, let's see. Let me move this. Let's take a little peeky gander at the rest of the indices and make sure that we have, yes. So Joshi, done, like, thank you, Joshi. Dow Jones near target, about to complete. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial, the DJI. The Dow Jones Industrial is now trading down here at 31599, looking really good, Joshi. I really like that, and you know, I hope you hit all your marks and make all your makers. Dow Jones Industrial failing here below the 200-day moving average, not looking good. Remember, guys, your Dow Jones Industrial is a heavily weighted stock with all your ancient dinosaurs like Coca-Cola, you know, like McDonald's, you know, your Burger King, all that kind of stuff is trading down there at its base. So keep that in mind. We also have AI up over here, guys. We've been in this trade from 2044 is where our average buy-in price is. I guess I can put that right here so you guys know where we got in. So this is my buy-in area. Oops. This is my buy-in area right here. It is green. And my red area is my stop loss. Okay, we have the stop loss right there. I'm going to go ahead and leave everything like it is. I do like AI for the longer run just because of the risk reward. I don't know about the stock so much. I don't really care about the hype. But what I do know, guys, simply put, is I like AI as the risk management plays, because we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4 times now that it's tested this area and held. So when it tests and hold, I like these key levels. I get in these key areas and I use that base as my risk management. So next up, we're going to run through the indices. And then maybe, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Let's run through, let's check out XPON. XPON still just kind of trading sideways there. It's looking good in these areas, still trading sideways above a 10-day moving average and a 200-day moving average. But remember, these next ones that we look at are a low float, rip your face off stock. So you need to be really careful in these, okay? So keep that in mind. So next up is ELEV. SIM, I believe, or was it Rabia? Yeah, Rabia brought this up this morning. ELEV, we have a nice little runner on ELEVE. This is a low float stock, if I do remember right. ELEV is trading at $2.05 even. Now this looks decent in this area, guys, because it is held this area. You traded around this price action, this $2 area for quite some time. So this might be a nice area to use as risk, but I'm going to need a few more days to let this 10-day moving average catch up to it to show us that it can squat down on it and head on higher. Now the Qs had a quick sell off there, bouncing off that VWAP area and looking overall well for the market, bouncing off these areas of VWAP. So we want to see the Qs hold up, but we want to see the overall indices holding up with it. Let me take a quick sip, guys. Bear with me. That's some good coffee, y'all. You don't even know. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on with this Netflix. It looks like we are getting that pullback. Microsoft, I'm going to be wishing I took that pullback on Google. Now, Microsoft, as strong as it looked yesterday, I thought we'd see a bigger pullback than this, but it is just waking off, showing true strength in this market leader right here at this 263. On the 15, we got 3 big wicks off this bottom. That is very nice to see, but I can't really take a trade off this because I don't want to just use the bottom of this wick as a stop loss here. So that's not what I'm going to do. That's what I'm just seeing. I would want to see it come all the way back to test in order for you to take that trade. So here we go. Meta looks like it's starting to catch now, but it's just, it's just trading just like it was. A push up, a pullback, a push up, a pullback, a push up. Now, if we're going to have to see this pull back, retest this 196 or trade sideways before starting to head up, and then I can use this base as a risk. But now, because this will be my, second or third try, I'm going to have to reduce my share size just like I did on AI yesterday. So we're going to see what wants to happen here. We get a new 5-minute candle just popping up. So we're going to see what it wants to do in this next candle. So let's go ahead and keep running through. Microsoft still looking good at 264.36. We have Amazon, AMZN, finally starting to get a cute little pullback towards VWAP, wicking off already though. So Amazon's looking very strong in this market. Meta, all right, we got Meta up on the right-hand side, so we don't need to look at that again. But let's look at Snap. So Snap come back down, now it's trading right above its VWAP area, just trying to trade sideways, looking overall constructive after that huge push in pre-market. And Tesla's coming back down, guys, back down. So this is looking like some sideways choppy action, at least for a lot of these indices. We got Apple pulling back as well. But we want to see it hold. I mean, we got a whole day ahead of us, guys, so don't get too excited. We got Google. So Google isn't just pulling back like I anticipated. Google's just trading sideways, hanging out, lingering like that smelly fart under the covers, just trading sideways. Guys, this thing might really get some legs. Google is looking stronger and stronger each time we look at it. The NASDAQ here now trading at 12,263. This NASDAQ's looking very constructive, just like the rest of the Qs over the 200-day moving average. The Qs is over the 200-day moving average. We want the SPY, though. We want to see the SPY get over that 200-day moving average to really solidify conviction and confluency across the market, because this under the 500 or the 200-day moving average just makes people squeamish. It makes a lot of your IWD, your investing business daily investors a little scared, and so you don't want to see your investor business daily guys scared. So all right, we got Riot now pulling back after we got into this area. So can it hold this 6.5? That's the true test. We want to see Riot holding that 6.5 and doing a great job at holding. So IWM now pulling back, showing its true colors down here, reaching these newer lows or trading at its lowest lows for the year. Very scary down here for IWM. It could get a good break to the base if we're not careful. So now it looks like we are starting to get a pullback in the Qs. So I want to make sure that we are not in anything that we don't want to be in. So Meta looks like it is trying to hold up in that area. The Qs are pulling right back down to that VWAP area. Will it hold new lower highs? That is the real question there. As Netflix also pulling back now at 303.51. Microsoft also pulling back, starting to fill some of those 15-minute wicks we talked about earlier. And Amazon is going to look like it's going to come back down and test that VWAP area. So Meta still trading in these areas, looking really good still. This still is a constructive pullback. It's still trading at all-time highs, but we have to keep in mind that we are seeing some pullback action now on Meta, so this thing might fail on us. We need to be careful. Same thing with NVIDIA at these all-time highs right now, guys. If we're at these all-time highs, we can expect a little shudder, a little shake. Now, how far is this thing going to pull back? I don't really know. This thing might just touch and start to rip. We don't know. The market is just kind of wishy-washing around right now, not knowing really what it wants to do, as Meta's starting to pull back at 196.65, NVIDIA pulling back at 243.17, but still both of those trading at their all-time highs. SNAP at 1071. Tesla pulling back hard now to where we opened up at, trading at 179.69. So Apple, after getting to those recent daily highs, it had a very big pullback here, but I told you guys we might see this. We might see this because it's not going to all happen at once. We're going to need to give this time to trade sideways, create new higher lows in this daily pattern, and then break out on volume. If it does that, goodness gracious, watch out, birdies, because this baseball is going to be flying to the north side. Now Google, we know Google is looking strong in this area, but we also know Google has reached its most recent high that it held back here on 216.23. The last time we were here, it sold off hard and then sold off for the next 6 days before catching a bid, coming back and retesting that area when we talked about being fanboys. Now it's back up to that high of 97.54, and it's just hanging out. It's just lingering around there. Not sure what it wants to do, but I think in very, very soon it's going to let us know what it wants to do. So let's go ahead and look at SMH and the VIX and the dollar. So SMH is still creating new lower highs on the 15-minute, the hourly, and the daily. So that's looking very constructive for SMH. That is your ETF, semiconductor ETF, guys. So we'll look at ASUR here right now. So the VIX is trading at 26.88. So the VIX is looking like it is very volatile still. So be careful in those stocks, guys. So it is 10:20. So you guys still got me here for another hour and a half, guys. So if you want to know to something that you want to see or that you're looking at, and look at this, B Stewie, another beautiful area to call out, because we have this thing marked out, and we've been watching ASUR for quite some time. It's a software tech, so we are in the computer area with this. So with the tech names, ASUR should trade higher with the rest of the tech names. Now we're getting this constructive pullback, at least it's constructive so far, to this $13.50 area. So I have this $13.40, 50-cent area marked out right here. That's the area we would want to see hold. Now it's came back and tested this area multiple times, so we could use that excuse me, we can use that as a risk. So ASUR is looking constructive, and with the overall tech sector looking well, this could be a very nice stock to find a long in this area. But these aren't buy or sell recommendations. I'm just a big talking chin on the YouTube that likes to do technical analysis. So these are my patterns, not yours, but they can be. Just make sure you're using risk in mind, okay? I would use at least this 13. If it broke down past this $13, this stock would be a no-go for me. I would not want to look at this stock anymore. But as of right now, it's looking constructive. This sideways action is always good for the bulls, and you know, if you can find yourself a proper risk reward, then so be it. Do it, baby, do it. All right, so guys, I'm Dave. This is LoFiTrader. We gave you the initial jobless claims data this morning. It came out a little bit worse than expected. Why I say that worse than expected is because we did not see many people claiming that they lost their job. We didn't see a lot of that, okay? And when you're not seeing a lot of that, that means people still have their jobs, people are still making money, people are still spending money, which is going to then keep on the increase on our inflation. So guys, take a look at the screen right here. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll right on down and smash this like button. Absolutely beautiful like button down here. If you smash it, it does these little pretty colors and all that good stuff. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. There's only 3 things I ask of you guys, and everything else is absolutely free. The 3 things is, 1, I want you to be here for pre-market prep. That's first and foremost. If you're here for pre-market prep, you can see the levels, you can catch those levels, and you can make some money. But if you just roll out of bed, like our boy Alex does from time to time, you can get yourself into a little trouble. So keep that in mind, guys. Make sure you're for pre-market prep. You smash that like, and if you want to see more infotainment from myself, please hit that subscribe button. It does me a huge favor, guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And one last thing, I want you to know, if you are here watching me on Facebook through Robinhood Stock Market Watch List, well, Carlos Moreno is allowing me to post in that Facebook page and do live trading for you on his live trading room. So if you want to see more of me, come on over here to YouTube, smash that subscribe button so I can show up in your feed every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 till 12. So right back to the stock commentary and analysis, guys. Let's go ahead and bring up the SPY. Now, I want to see the SPY because I want to see the SPY holding up this new higher low. It's very, very important that the SPY does this if we want to see our long-term accounts doing well. If it doesn't want to hold and it doesn't want to prevail, well, then we're going to see some longer-term issues. Now, we know we're having a big pullback. We know we've seen a big hit in the SPY and the IWM because they have the financial sectors in them, but they are holding. They are trading sideways and they're looking constructive. So I absolutely like that. Goodness gracious, it seems like I wonder if somebody's kicking me out of that live thing. So let's say okay. We're going to keep on keeping on, guys. We got London on the track. We got the SPY trading at 387.26. And let's go ahead and look at XPON, just trading sideways. ELEV right there trading sideways. Did we take this trade? We did take this trade. Oh, we didn't take this trade. No, because I wanted a few more days on this. The trade we did take was, well, now I can't find it. But we're out of it, right? Let me just double check. Let me see my active trades. AIVO. Okay, cool. So these are the only trades that we're in. We're good. Let's see how the VOO is doing, huh? This is the long-term investing account for the YouTube account. This already reset for the day, for the year. But as you guys can see, I should have it marked out on here for you. Here's the daily on the bottom. This is my average. The 340 is my average for this. 338.46 actually. So I still have till then, until my investing account on this will start going in the red. So we got plenty of room for the market to come down before our YouTube investing account goes in the red. But for today, we're up about $3.14, and for the start of this year, we're down about 30 bucks. But for the overall trade, we're up about $3.50 on that overall trade since we started dollar cost averaging into it. Okay, so let's take a look at EUDA, which is another low float stock. It looks like we did get a small bounce and a sell-off yesterday. We got an even smaller bounce and a sell-off today. BLPH still holding this area, looking really constructive. If this 6 area wants to hold this one more time, this might be a nice spot to take a long. But keep in mind, guys, that this is its high and this is new higher low, higher low. If it doesn't hold this 6, this might be a great area for a short. BLPH, Heiser, if you're still with us, take a look at BLPH and let me know what you think, brother, because it looks like something that you would be interested in. So let me know what you think, brother. It is 10:26 right now, guys. 10:26. We still have another hour and a half in this beautiful market together. So if you see something that you want me to take a peeky gander at, let me know in the chickadee chat and I will take a look at that. So LIPO, did it give that pop? No, it didn't give the pop that Mikey wanted. I wonder if he still traded that. THMO looks like it found its base down here at 368 in pre-market and then came right back up. We've seen all of this happen in pre-market. I told you it's hard to hold in pre-market because sometimes this can happen. So know what your risk is. Well, the only place to really actually risk off of THMO is off yesterday's consolidation. It's base at 350-ish area. So 360 area, okay? Now, it bounced off that area and then it came right back down. Look at this. And I really wanted to buy this. I wanted to buy this panic dip because I knew that this was the area of support. But I don't trade these panic dips very often. So I need to see more of these happen before I start trading them, guys, because I don't want to go in and out of nothing. But I even said it might bounce off this area, come back up to retest this $5.70 to $6 area. And look, guys, we're seeing a huge wick off of it. Now, if it wants to eat away through this liquidity to head on higher up to this $12 area, that would be awesome, right? But we need to see it be constructive. It is trading more than average volume on the stock right now. We're seeing a lot of positive volume to the north side, so watch out below, watch out above. This thing can chop you up, but if it wants to show that it can break through, come back and retest this $6 area, that might be a nice little place to get long so we can see bigger expected moves. But those are my thoughts, not yours. So trade your book, trade your own hand, guys. So good morning if you're just joining me, guys. We are looking at a little bit of everything. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, doing this stuff. So if you like it, if you love it, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. It looks like UNCY did do what I wanted it to, but before it did, it needed to break this area down. So this could have been a nice little retest, a nice little rebuy, because you know I like those retests, and it looked like it was doing good. I believe we bought it, was it 2 days ago in pre-market? We bought this just to kind of show, and it went up, it came down, stopped me out, came right back up, and then this retest would have been a nice area to buy back in, because I think it's cleared its liquidity out up here in this 270, this 280 area. I think it's clear now. So if it wants to come up, if I was in this trade small share size, if it wants to come up and play around and then break up even higher, it would have been nice to actually just have those shares to see where it would go after that. But I'm not in this trade anymore, so no position on this, just watching and learning from my loss, because you guys know just as well as I do that you're a loser unless you're learning. So make sure you learn from your mistakes, guys, because I know I do. And if I'm not learning from my mistakes, well, then I am a loser. And that is true and true. That's pride and true. And I fully agree with that statement. So make sure you are learning from your mistakes, guys. Now, the SPY just chopping around, trading sideways. We are on the 15 minute. Let me put it on the 5 to get this more interesting, give us a little bit more data. Yeah, just trading sideways, guys. This thing does not pick the direction today, and it might not at all. Remember, the FOMC meeting is coming out on the 22nd, so people are really going to be all eyes on that day. It's going to be a crazy day in this stream. If I have the ability, I'm going to start the stream probably an hour early to try and get everybody that is necessary in here before the FOMC meeting. I do believe the FOMC meeting will start at 8:30, but I'm not 100% sure. That might actually start later in the day. So I will get that news, I will get that information out to you as soon as possible. So let's keep on keeping on here, guys. So the SPY looking constructive now, trading above the VWAP area. The IWM finally found a new low, it looks like. Let's zoom out here because I'm not on the hourly. Yeah, I found a double bottom actually on this IWM. We found a double bottom. It actually created a new higher low, but only by pennies. So it's creating this double bottom, and it looks like it's trying to bounce back up. Its first test is going to be the VWAP for the day. Then it's going to be 172, and then we're going to see if it can break out higher from there. But right now, it's got a lot of trouble to test at this VWAP area, because this is a very, very important area for IWM. So we finally found a new low for IWM. Will we start to see it get constructive? Now the Qs are looking very strong again, right up here above VWAP, wicking off on the bottoms, trying to push higher, trading at 299.66. Are we going to get back up to that $300? That would be absolutely awesome, as Netflix is also doing a little scalp, a little curl. Let's see how Microsoft still hasn't came back down to that buy up area. We only got a few more dollars to go, and we will be there. As Amazon pushing, making new highs for the day at 97.92. Things are starting to heat up here. Let's take a look at old Meta. So Meta did look like it is getting that nice little curl on the bottom. Do we take one more trade in Meta? Let me put Meta up over here on the right hand side, because that looks like it is trying to shape up, holding a base, not trying to cherry pick that bottom, but I want to see volume coming in. Let's take a look at Nvidia, because we know it was at its highs, now breaking out at its highs. Goodness, I'm going to have to go ahead and take a long somewhere here. So we're going to go ahead and try and get in just 5 shares now, just 5 shares of Meta, because we already tried this 2 different times and I stopped out. So if Meta wants to get me in for 5 shares, that's a-okay. Hopefully we can hold on to this for the bigger expected move, using its bottom as its stop out. Yes, I'm going to use the bottom as the stop out. That's where I have my risk set, and if we get stopped out on this, I know that I'm risking about $5 on this trade. That's a-okay with Nvidia now breaking out of its highs. We're going to see if it wants to come back, retest, and then take off even higher. So Nvidia making new highs. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first on LoFiTrader. We caught and we seen Nvidia making new highs. So when everybody says this and that or the other thing, you could say, yeah, I was there. I heard it. I seen it. I know what's going on in the market, because you are tuned in with us. That's what we like to do. We keep an eye on the hottest trading stocks at all times. It look like Snap. Is it going to catch a bid down there in this area, or is it going to keep on keeping on to the low side? It looks like Meta is giving us a little push at 197. 197.22. Tesla just trading sideways, wicking off on both sides here. It doesn't know what it wants to do. As Apple now trading at 153, almost even, trading right at those highs, guys. This is really nice for Apple. We talked about maybe at the trading sideways all day in this range, in this area, and seeing what it wanted to do with this, but it's just lingering around at this 153 area, really just pushing in on its tops. Looks absolutely amazing, and if this thing wants to act like a scallop and then just pop up higher, this thing could really get some legs. So watch out above, but also keep in mind we are at its yearly highs. At its yearly highs, this thing could sell off just as well as it could take off. So be careful out there. Google, same thing for Apple, same thing for Google. We're at the highs of 216.23 was the last time we seen it up here at this 97 area, but it is now pushed up higher and now is just trading sideways at this area that looks constructive so far. This thing could even pull back and retest this VWAP area, but we don't mind if the market wants to continue looking very strong for us. We're okay with that, right? So let's take a look at the NASDAQ. It's also pushing up. The NASDAQ 100 also pushing up to 12,269, looking very good, very constructive here. But always keep in mind, at these highs, we could actually see some sell-off at these highs. So very interesting area to be in, guys. The Qs just trading well above the VWAP area. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to bring up Amazon, and then we're going to bring up NVIDIA. So Amazon still pushing up. It's trying to climb to that $100 area, trading at 97.88. This looks really good for AMZN, guys. Amazon is looking really good. When you see these big boats like Google, these big boats like Amazon starting to do a little U-turn and starting to head up more towards that north side, then we can see the market coming up with it. So we have AMZN looking absolutely scrumptious, coming back up to that $100 area, psychological and a technical area, and NVIDIA still trading at its all-time highs. We just seen it hit all-time highs here, guys, and it was absolutely beautiful to see NVIDIA doing that. So a pullback and a retest of any type of area. I'd much rather see VWAP holding, but we want to see anything holding above this 240 area. If it can hold above this 240 area anywhere, we are still green side for NVIDIA. So now it looks like Meta's finally giving me that push that I want. We're at 197.71, but only half share size. We are up $3.45 on this trade so far, and we're going to see, are we going to not only win back those two losses that we had, but make more money on Meta, because this bounce was a little bit further down than I had anticipated, and that's a-okay, because we keep our eye on the market. We keep our eye and our finger on the pulse, baby. So snap, is it going to snap back up, or are we just going to keep on failing? We need to see a new lower high being put on this hourly in order for us to want to continue to be trading this snap. Oh, snap. So new lower high here, new lower high here. We're going to want to see this somewhere in this $10, $50, $11 area, create a new lower high to get confluency across the market for snap to be doing a little better. Now Tesla, not doing nearly as good as all of our other big boats. Nope, not doing as good as Google, not doing as good as Apple, not doing as good as Amazon. Tesla now back trading to those same areas at 180 even. Tesla's just hanging around, not doing much at all. Let's take a look at Apple, just doing the same exact thing, trading at 153, almost even, guys. We want to see Apple break out. If we could see Apple break out here, we can see that tasty little meta trade also breaking out, because everything is looking very constructive in the tech world. Let's look at Google now, not even caring that it's at these highs. It looks like it wants to break out a little bit higher. It keeps squeaking around here. This looks really constructive for Google, guys. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're here with me. So let me take a little sip, because the throat is getting driggity dry. I'm gonna go ahead and rise up. I'm going to bring up this desk, this moving table of mine because I'm getting excited. We were starting to make some money on Meta, and now we are actually up on the trade. We are now green for the day for Meta. Thank you, Meta. Much appreciated. Now Google's giving a little push. Meta's giving a little push. How about NVIDIA? NVDA, baby. Can we see another push from NVIDIA? We are still seeing a constructive pullback there, but we want to see what the overall indices is doing first and foremost. So the QQQ is what I pull up because it's got 100 stock, tech-heavy stocks in it. So let's just go ahead and read what is actually what is in the QQQ. So we want to see what exactly is in that ETF, right? It's nice to see exactly what is in your ETFs because then you can see what exactly. So look at the top 10 holdings. So now this is interesting for me because they may have switched some things around. So the top 10 percentage of the holdings for this QQQ, the sector weight percentages. We have information technology, communication service, consumer discretionary, healthcare, which I didn't realize the Qs held healthcare, so that's very interesting. Consumer staples, industrial, utilities, and energy. So that's the list from top to bottom. So information and technology stocks are going to be your highest. So your top 10 percentage holdings starts like this. Microsoft is its biggest holding. So if Microsoft moves, the Q is going to move. So if we bring up MSoft right here on the right-hand side, you can probably guess the way Microsoft is going to move is the way the Q is going to move. Now, this is interesting because it's not. If we put the 5-minute against the 5-minute, we're seeing a different correlation. We're seeing an inverse correlation. So if we can get market to find a bid on Microsoft and head on higher, these Qs are going to rip city rip, okay? So be careful. And then, of course, we have Apple, AAPL, which is also the second heaviest weighted index in this index. Now, Apple is sitting right there at those highs as well. What else do we have? We have Alphabet, Class A and C, which means it's GOOG, and then you have GOOGL, which are both going to be moving relatively the same, both at these highs, both looking absolutely amazing, guys. If you want to get into these stocks, make sure you're using risk, but these things are looking great. Of course, as you guys know, NVDA is also a part of this heavy weighted indices, still trading at those all-time highs. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla is also, it's like the 5th traded. It's got 2.75% of its stocks in this. Looks like it's doing a nice little scallop here, creating this uptrend, looking very constructive on this 5-minute. I really do like this, and it might break out above this VWAP area. And then if it breaks out above the VWAP area, it's going to break this little pennant that it's created, okay? So if we can break these areas out and head on higher, the overall market is going to go parabolic, guys. And maybe I'm overstating that parabolic, but hey, it's a fun word. It's a spicy, sassy, sizzling word. So if you like it, if you love it, if you want some more of it, hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys, because I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12, bringing you the best commentary. Yes, the best commentary, the best live analysis, and live trading right here. And as you can see, we are in 5 shares of Meta. As it pushes up, we're up about $5 on this trade. Easy money right now, guys, and I absolutely love it. We also have PepsiCo, Broadcom, and Costco all in this ETF sector. Now, wow, we're saying, can you guys believe it? We are starting to see some beautiful pushes here on the market in general. I love it, and we're about to see new highs being broke for the Qs. There we go, $300.27 right there, and we are moving up high and fast. Goodness gracious, watch out. Hold on to your longs, ladies and gentlemen, because we are pushing. Can we get another spike? Can we keep on heading towards the north side? NVIDIA trading at $244.80. Let's take a look at my tasty trade on Meta, because you know you've seen it pop. We're up about $7.50 above the VWAP area, and now still pushing ever loving higher. $198.74 Meta. Goodness gracious, I wish I still had those 10 shares, but A-okay, baby. We're still in this trade because we want to make that money. The Q is now at 340 cents. Wow, let's run through these indices and see how the SPY's doing next to it. Okay, the SPY reaching new highs here, guys, trading at 388.96. We're starting to see a little bit of a pullback because we know we have that overhead resistance there. So be careful, mind your P's and Q's, and know what your risk is. As the IWM came off those bottoms and rip city biscuit, we're back up to those day highs. But remember, it's still looking weak. We get a lot more proving to do for the IWM. And now the Q's trading at $300.25. looking very, very nice for the overall market, and Netflix doing about the same. We're trading at 305.88 on NFLIX, back at yesterday's highs. Microsoft now showing a little squirt to the upside. We want to see Microsoft do a little better than that. I still think personally Microsoft has a little ways to come back down, but if we want to shape up here, we want to head higher, you're not going to hear me complaining about Microsoft doing that. So let's take a look at Amazon. Goodness gracious, maybe that's what's soaking that market up. Amazon, it is the fourth weighted stock. It has 6.06% in the QQQs, right? So when Amazon moves, it's going to drag some of this market up with it. And right now, the AMZN trading at 98.38. Goodness gracious, I'm glad you guys are here to watch this with me. Things are looking absolutely amazing, and I love to see things moving. So yes, very nice job, Joshi. Joshi in the chat is showing his areas, his levels, his zones. It's looking absolutely beautiful. Means it depends on time here, then we'll come down. Yes, absolutely. When we see big pushes like this, we can expect a little bit of a pullback. But with NVDA trading at these highs, my personal opinion is that if we want to break through, if we want to head higher, that's A-okay. We're squatting down on this 10-day moving average. Not really squatting, but we are trading with it. If this thing wants to break out, it wants to head higher, that's A-okay. I much rather see it break out, come back, and retest. Right? We like to see those retests of these areas because then we have a safer risk reward data. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how the Qs is holding up in this area. So $300.33. So it's still just trying to digest this very beautiful push to pre-market high at 358. Now, if it doesn't want to hold this area, that could be bad news bears. This might be a sloppy toppy on this. This might be the bull trap, if you will. And if it is, that's A-okay because we have our stops in line. If this is a bull trap and we don't want to be a part of it and it comes back down, all it's going to do is get us out of our trades for small losses. And if that's the case, well, that's A-okay, guys, because that is why we use risk management. I'm willing to risk so much to make so much, and as long as you are risking less or you're losing less than you're making, well, then we're making money, baby. Am I right? Now, it looks like the Qs are trying to give another little baby push here. Can we see it? As Meta is trading at 198.13 and VDA, can we see another push from you? And right there, it's trading back up at its highs. It's looking absolutely amazing here for NVIDIA, constantly pressing, giving that pressure up at the top, and that pressure is a beautiful, beautiful spot, guys. I do like NVIDIA here, and I do feel like a little bit of missing out. I think I'm going to get in 5 shares. We're going to get in 5 shares right here. We're going to see what NVIDIA wants to do because I have a feeling that this was the pullback, this was the retest, and we might see another little breakout. So I have 5 shares of Meta, I have 5 shares of NVIDIA, and we're going to see what these want to do. My stop out is around this 244.44. We have a soft spot on the top of my head because I'm still a baby, but we have a soft stop on 244.44. That way, if it breaks down this area, I can keep an eye on it and see if we like it. So let me put this on my trades because we are in Riot, Meta, and AI now. So you guys are seeing live trades right here, right now, every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. Why? Because I love it. I'm passionate about stock market, commentary, analysis, and if you're passionate even half as much as I do, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. I promise you, guys, I am going to be here for you, and I want you to be here for me. So let's go ahead and run through these indices because things are looking yummy, yummy. SPY now trading at 389.23. It looks like it wants to continue to push. Can we see this thing move ever living higher? What in the float is going on in the market? Well, I'm glad you're here because I want to tell you about it. The Qs are trading at $300.48. Can we continue to push? Absolutely amazing. Josie says SPY movement may complete given an intraday target of 391, then pending sell target at 365.20. Those are Joshi's words, not mine, but it is looking amazing for the overall market. So Microsoft now giving us that push back up, but still trading under that VWAP area. And there we go, NVIDIA, new highs at 244.66. We are up about $4.44 on this trade. Can NVIDIA continue to trade higher as Microsoft also giving that chirp, bringing up above that VWAP area at 264.55. Things are looking very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your lungs because things are looking really, really good as AI AMZN now at 98.83. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Meta now pushing up to 198.68. Goodness gracious, guys. Did we catch it? Did we call this out in pre-market? Yes, we did. So make sure you show up every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12, so you can hear what is going on in the pre-market. We talked about these pullbacks. We watched these pullbacks. We bid on these pullbacks, and now we are making money. That's how we do it, baby. It's giving me chills, and I'm glad I'm here to do it in front of you. Now, Tesla, look at that beautiful thing. You were here. You seen it. Of course, we drew this line out for you. We wanted to see it hold, and I even said I would like to take a trade above this VWAP area, but it is not my trade. That's not how I trade, guys. But maybe I should trade everything I say, and maybe I'd be a richer man. But remember, analysis is going to be easier than trading. Trading and analysis are two totally different things. So I'm calling it. I'm also playing it. I'm doing it all for you live right now, baby, and I love it. Tesla trading at 181.23. If you are a Tesla-onian, you are looking in good shape. Trading sideways in these areas, this 180, it's been holding. It's looking absolutely amazing for the overall market as well. But keep in mind, Tesla is still below that 200-day moving average, so I won't take any serious longs on this thing now. NVDA trading at 246.18. It is gonna keep on keeping on. My next stop loss on NVIDIA, if it never comes back to stop me out for break even, guys, is going to simply be put that 10-day moving average. So if NVIDIA wants to keep on carrying on and wants to give us a run like we've seen here, that's a-okay with me. I'm going to use the 10-day moving average as my stop out. We're up about $6.50 on NVIDIA. Let's take a look at Meta. It looks like we are up about $9.76 on Meta. So let's take a look at Riot. It looks like we're up about $1.80 on Riot. And what about our last and final trade is AI? We're up about, look at AI ramping off there. Goodness gracious, AI now at $21.50. Of course, this the P&L is wrong on this, guys. We have it at 2044. We have 5 shares at 2044. We are at 2150, so we know we're up at least $5 on this trade. While this thing moves ever loving higher, you'll love to see it. Now, keep in mind, guys, AI is running into its resistance at 2150. We want to see this thing shudder, shake, shimmy, do whatever it wants, but will yourself go higher? We will see very, very soon. So those are my trades that I'm in. We are green for the day, baby. Once again, we are green for the day, and it feels so good, so scrumptious. You know you love it. So we're going to keep NVIDIA because we know that is one beast of a stock, and it wants to keep on pushing higher. Where is its next stop? Well, it wants to keep on moving higher at 246.64 as the SPY trading at 390.29. Things are still pushing higher, up as they go, and the Q is trading at 301.58. Guys, if you're not excited about this, I don't know why you wouldn't be. Maybe you're too bearish. Maybe you got some bear shorts that you didn't stop out on. But if this doesn't get you excited, then you don't care about the 401ks, the Roth IRAs. These are bringing our bank accounts back up, baby. And that's what you want to see, especially if you have a grandma, if you have a grandpa, and they have a retirement. Microsoft trading at 265.44. Wow, guys. Wow. Joshi says, okay, bye for now. Take care. Don't forget to read my message on yesterday's stream on YouTube. Listen, Josie, I will do my absolute best. It is good to see you, and I do appreciate all of the information and putting it into context so it's easy to read. So awesome trading today, Joshi. I would love for you to post your charts, your trading charts. Post those in our Discord, Josie, so we can see what you traded, where you traded, and how you traded it, so we can learn from you. Sometimes just reading off this is not going to help anybody because they need a visual perspective. That's me personally. A lot of times when people say lines, unless it's a moving average, if you're talking about price, I can't see the lines in the chart. I'm blind without a chart. So if you send me a chart, I'll be able to analyze. I'll be able to really pick out what I do, what I don't like. Okay, so let's keep on going through. I want to see how my trades are doing. So the SPY's up. Let's see, AI now 21.37. We got Meta showing a little bit of topping at that 198.95. Looking good. Now we have Riot pushing up 687. Looking good. NVIDIA still trading at its highs at 246.46. Let's go ahead and look at, do I have any more trades? No. So what we're going to do is bring up Bitcoin and see how old Bitcoin's doing. So it looks like on the daily we are still holding out. We are still looking very, very scrumptious overall. And then on I'm sorry. And then on the hourly, we are showing this nice little uptrend. It held this bottom of 264, and then it started to push, and now it's trading in those highs, in that area, looking really good. Yes, beautiful? You taking off? All right, bring that baby in here so I can say goodbye. He's sleeping? Bye, I love you. Have a good day. All right, the wife is gone. It looks like I'm here alone at home by myself. So hopefully we don't get any burglars or bad guys in here while I'm streaming, because I'm going to have to beat the crap out of them on stream. You guys want to see a rear naked choke? I will start doing jujitsu instruction areas on any bad guy that wants to walk in here. So hopefully my blue belt wife won't, she's not here to protect me anymore. But look at this, guys. We're going to go right back to NVIDIA. Goodness gracious, 247.39. Things are going crazy. TRKA has some volume. TRKA, let's take a little peeky gander at that. Yes, TRKA looks like it is getting some volume, but where is it pushing up? Right into that 25-cent area. We know that there is plenty of volume in that 25-cent area. Why? Well, we can look back and see volume traded, and now it's back up into there, then wicking right back off hard when it hit that $27 area, now failing. It looks like it is halted. It possibly could be halted. Joshi, SPY completed, 391 given target. Good job, Joshi. You are on top of it today, brother, and I am pumped and proud for you to be a part of this show. So cheers to you. So Heiser, it's good to see that you're still in here, brother. Yeah, TRKA, I actually went over TRKA today and we talked about what a dead stock that thing was looking like, but today it looked like it popped up and is giving us a little bit of volume. Now look at the SPY, guys. If you don't see this, goodness gracious, you need to look at this screen right here. This is a beautiful move up on 5-minute candlestick pattern, 391.08. Can you freaking believe it? Goodness gracious, what in the float is going on right now? Guys, we talked about this. We talked about all that pullback. We talked about all that testing and what was going to happen after it tested. We called this. We called every single trade. It's all coming into fruition. It's making my skin, it's goosebumped. I'm all fleshed up. I'm all goosebumped up, guys. This is amazing, and I'm so happy to be here doing this in front of you, commentating this for you right now. I hope you remember you seen this push on LoFiTrader, baby. So let's take a look at the IWM because we want to see, and there it is. We are seeing it across the board. There's confluency across the board, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on to your longs. IWM gave a beautiful push right back up into the pre-market highs. Can we see the Qs do the same thing? Of course we can. 302.03, still pushing higher as Netflix also ramping up. Hold on to those longs, ladies and gentlemen. Things are looking good. Microsoft back up to its highs. Wow. Amazon, AMZN, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Things are on fuego. Yes, I said a Spanish word. Fuego. AMD, goodness gracious. Let's take a peeky gander at AMD. Yes, AMD is flying up. We created this beautiful cup and handle for you to take a peeky gander at. And what happened, guys? This thing took off without me. What a beautiful, beautiful cup and handle on AMD. Wow. If you want to know what a good cup and handle looks like, right there it is, guys. You have this beautiful cup. You have this beautiful handle, and then you have a beautiful breakout push through on volume. It looks like we might want to start taking some more trades with cup and handles as the SPY trades at 391.89. Holy cow, the market is on fire. Did we bottom? Did we find the bottom, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see the bottom here first on LoFiTrader? I sure hope that you did, because we are still in these trades. We are still seeing these things take off, and if they want to get that far extended from my buy-in area, that far extended from where I'm at, then I'm going to hold on to my longs, and these might turn into future, these might be in future long-term trading accounts, right? So do we think SPY will crash after that run? You don't have a name. How am I supposed to say your name? Just green figure is what we'll call you. Do we think SPY will crash after that run? Well, that is always a possibility. You know, there's always that possibility. So keep in mind, this is what we're going to go off of, because the SPY, let's bring up the SPY. Actually, let's bring up the SPY and let's look at the daily, guys. The SPY is trading where? Right now, it's trading right at that 200-day moving average. So will it crash? Well, personally, I do think we're going to expect a pullback from here, guys. We're going to need a pullback after that kind of push. You don't see something like that without getting a pullback. If not, if it goes straight up, then it's going to come straight back down. But I will say this about the SPY. The SPY is now trading at 391.46, and we are going to see a bit of a shudder, shake, a little shimmy, a little pullback, because we are right under that 200-day moving average. Now, if the market wants to continue to trade on this, look at my patterns here, guys. See this little uptrend I created? If it wants to stay in this pattern under the 200-day moving average, but still trying to hold this uptrend line, that's going to look extremely well for SPY. So when you ask, will the SPY crash after that run, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I wouldn't say crash, no. I would say you're going to at least see some sell-off action around this 200-day moving average, also the 393 area, because that was its previous high 2 days ago. So after it gets up to that area, then it'll probably have a nice little pullback, and then what we're going to watch to react to is to see where the constructive pullback will be. If we don't get a constructive pullback and that thing continues to take off, well then the market's on fire. You know, the market's on fire. Holy crap, hold on to your lungs. But I think we can expect at least a pullback after that push, guys. Things don't go straight up or straight down. So to answer that, no, I don't think the SPY will crash after that run, but I do think we will see a constructive pullback to a bare minimum. And then if it wants to break this downward trend line, we might be in for a world of hurt. So yes, the shorts are probably in on SPY for now, but how long will they be here? That's the real question, guys, because if the market wants to continue higher and we want to see some sideways action, some constructive things happening in the overall market, we are going to have to see pullbacks during that time. So beautiful push, a beautiful rebound, and we might want to see this thing moving higher, but we're going to have to see this thing pull back, and where is it going to pull back to in order for us to take that money? So AI trading at 21.51, Meta trading at 199.22, we have Riot trading at $6.88, and we have Nvidia now trading at 246.54, looking absolutely amazing. Little Pencil, what up, Little Pencil, my dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Little Pencil says LPSN ended up being a good trade. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you found. I'm glad you found something on that, because when you brought it up in the morning, all I seen was this. All I seen LPSN is this. So, you know, I don't know what, you know, where you got in, what your risk was, because I don't see any risk reward on this. So, you know, maybe you caught this panic bottom and longed it. I don't know. Or did you take a short? You know, so I'm glad you had a good trade out of LPSN. How you traded it, I don't know, but I'd love to see your chart. So if you want to post it in our Discord, Little Pencil, I don't know if you've been to our Discord yet, but we have Alex in there. He's our moderator. He's awesome, absolutely awesome at keeping things crispy and clean. I just posted that in the comment section for you, Little Pencil, in case you wanted to join if you're not already with us, guys. It's absolutely free. I don't ever ask of anything except for these three things: like, subscribe, and be here for pre-market prep. Dang it, we love pre-market prep, and we want to see you here for it. That way you can take some of the trades just like I took today. We knew where our levels were, we knew where our lines were, and that's why we are making money on these trades, okay? So we're up about $9.20 for Nvidia. We are up, let's take a look at Meta. So we are up about, because we only took 5 shares of Meta, we're up $11, we're up $12 on Meta. Let's take a look at AI. Now AI, I know for a fact this is where we're at, but it's giving me the wrong thing. So we'll say we're at 20 and it's at 21. So up about $5 on that. Do we have any other trades? No. So everything's looking really good as the SPYs continue to try and push higher. But remember, you know, we know it's right there at that 200-day moving average. So we're expecting a pullback. So don't sweat the pullback, guys. It's expected. Just don't buy those highs either. We don't want to see anybody doing that. All right, so if I'm looking at something that you're not, or you're looking at something that you want, let me know, guys, because I would love to pull it up in the chat. I'd love to react to it. I'd love to talk about it. Whether it's a good stock or a bad stock, I try to be the bull with bare horns. I mean the bear with bull horns. Hope you guys are following me here. Because if we want to be the bull with bare horns, we cannot have a bias. We can see both sides of the trade, and we can mark out our risk management in those lines, draw our lines in the sand, so that way we can have risk management and we can live to see another day. So Netflix, everything got that beautiful push, and now we're going to see where the pullback is going to come. We don't want to buy these beautiful pushes like this, guys. We want to watch the beautiful pushes and find where the pullbacks are. Okay, so these are all looking so constructed. They are all looking so beautiful, but analysis and emotions and trading, they are all getting your way if you aren't being disciplined. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we're not buying highs, guys. We're not selling lows. We are looking at different things at different times, trying to find confluency and trying to find different areas for risk management, okay? So keep that in mind. That's definitely what we want to do here first. So LIPO is forming a bridge, even though it's downside a little. So I've never heard of a bridge, I'm not familiar with that pattern at all. That might be something that you call something, which is A-okay. Like I call it gap up short with daily resistance, but my friends call it gap up bounce short. Okay, it's the same thing. Gap up bounce with daily resistance, gap up bounce short. That's two different ways of calling something. So I don't know what you call a bridge, but what I'm seeing here is that if it doesn't hold this area, I won't even want to look at this thing tomorrow. So this is no trade for me, LIPO, because I cannot see a trade. I'm not saying it's not tradable. I'm not saying that you can't trade it. All I'm saying is I would want to see this thing for a couple more days play out, because this is not giving me any information. The only thing this is showing me, low pencil, is this thing shot up on low volume and now has traded off since market open. That's the only thing it's given me. The only other thing is that on the daily, if it does get up to 345 or it does get up to 550, we're going to see a lot of liquidity, and that's probably where it's going to sell off. All right. So RSI 74 and 1 minute on the 90 seems pretty overbought? Question mark. What are we talking about? LIPO. So if we're talking about LIPO with the overbought, oversold on the RSI, if that's what you're talking about, Alex, we need to know what time frame, because the RSI is going to look different on many different time frames. And you said in the 90s, so I'm assuming you're not talking about that. All right, so let's keep on keeping on. BXRX also popped up. It's not looking all that good. THMO is now into that liquidity area I was telling you about. And look, it came up into that $6, right? I drew these lines out well before they actually came up here. So check it out, guys. It came right up in that $6 area and it sold off. Now, I told you, we want to see it eat away this liquidity, and it looks like that's what it's trying to do. It came back up into this area, it sold off. Now we need to see it come back up into this area, sell off, and hold the $6 area. If that happens, then guess what? THMO might be a tasty little buy. So what was that other stock, guys, I was telling you guys about that we need to keep an eye on because of the short interest? I don't remember now. Was it UNCI? Was it XPON? No. Was it BLPH? CDIO? Shoot, I can't remember now. Doodle-doo. I want to say it was, now I can't remember. I kind of want to find this, though, because when I brought it up, it was like 26% short float. But I can't remember what it was, guys. I really do need to figure that out. Let's see, TLT. Was it TLT? No. LIPO, maybe? Or was it ELEV? I think it was ELEV. Let's take a look. ELEV. Yeah, so this thing, let me just double check on that, because I just want to make sure, guys. So the short interest on, so no, it was ONCS. That's it, ONCS, guys. So let's take a look at ONCS, and we're going to bring the market up over here. So it did not hold that area, so never mind on ONCS. This low float with 26% short interest. I was hoping this thing would hold, so that way we could take a short or take a long into this. But I think I did take a long in market open, but it stopped me out almost right away. So, you know, no big deal. So let's go ahead and bring up the SPY over here. Let me know what you're looking at in the chat, guys. We got an hour left. We're gonna try and see if we can't find any. Yeah, AMD's probably ripping and roaring. Let's take a look at that for you, New Vision. Let me bring that up. We're gonna bring this down so I can give my leg a rest. AMD. Yeah, look at that. AMD is going to be moving really well, and it looks like it breaking out just like NVIDIA did. And let's see, NVIDIA is our leader. Remember, AMD is kind of the lagger here as to where AMD is our leader here, okay? So that being said, if you are taking a trade and you're waiting for a pullback, you could do it in either one. But remember, NVIDIA is much stronger than our AMD, okay? Doesn't look like it's catching up to it, though. You know, it actually looks like they're both about the same strength. But if you want to be in both, just go to SMH, because it'll solidify all of your semiconductor needs. And this thing does look like it's coiling. It does look pretty nice. Not buy or sell recommendations, of course, but you can take them if you want them. The SPY trading at 391.25. We're going to run through it. IWM 173.92, looking good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one if my charts want to load. The QQQs. Goodness gracious, guys. I love to see it. 302.29, looking good. And I will be honest with you guys, What I'm feeling right now is fear of missing out because I did not get enough shares. If you guys remember, I tried to get into Meta 2 different times. We took about $1.50 loss, and then I had to reduce my 10 share size to 5 shares because my third time trying something, I'm not allowed to take it on full share size. So I took a smaller share size, and now we're up, we're green, we're making money, but we do have to remember, sometimes trading's hard. That's why the submarine's drawn up back here, guys, because sometimes it feels like you're under pressure, that you're underwater. It feels like you're drowning sometimes. And I want you guys to know how hard trading can be. I've been doing it for many, many years now, so it makes it a little bit easier. That's why I can do it in front of you and cheat and trade and read and yada, yada, yada on this show, because I've been doing it at least long enough where I feel comfortable doing it in front of you. But I want you to know the struggles that you need to go through to get there. Microsoft now trading at 266.23, looking really good at its highs. Oh goodness, you love it. You love to see it. The last time we seen it at these highs was back here, 216.23. So we were here before on these highs, but we are up above that 200-day moving average again, so I'm happy with that. And it looks like the SPY's getting another little push here, back up to its highs, 392.01, boom, 392.30 now, another beautiful push. And if SPY's pushing, that means our Qs, yes sirree Bob, at 302.94. We are seeing an absolute beautiful move here. Guys, did we not call this in pre-market? I said we are bearish in the beginning, but bullish in the end. We want to see these market moves higher, but we need to see the constructive pullback, and we've seen it. It did pull back slightly more than I had anticipated, but we didn't let it fool us. We knew our lines, we knew our levels, and we used our risk management. Now we are making money. Let's take a look at old Meta. Good old Meta now pushing up higher. It looks like we are up about $15 on this trade, or $10 in total, since we took 2 small losses on it, and then we reverted to a smaller share size. We are actually up $10 total on that trade. And look at NVIDIA. Let's take a look and see how much we're up. We're up about $12 on NVIDIA. Now let's take a look at AI and then Riot. So AI, it looks like we're up about $5 on AI. It hasn't moved much at all. And now let's look at Riot. So Riot is back down to where we bought it. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, because we know Riot's going to move with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's making this beautiful uptrend here, guys. And let me know which charting system you like more, because I could get used to this charting system. It is clean. I like how nice it is. It's easy to use a lot. But I need to get used to it more. So the more I use it, the better I'll get. You know, this thing's up. Well, we won't even do that. We're going to go back out of here. But guys, keep in mind, Bitcoin's trading at 472. It's looking really, really constructive in this area. We want to see it hold these areas, because if it starts to break down from this 466 area, then we might see this thing head a little lower. So keep that in mind, guys. You know, I really like this area. I really like this risk management area. So we're just going to go ahead and draw that out for us. That's not where we're in. That's just the risk management line, and that's the color it draws it out. So keep in mind, guys, this is what Bitcoin looks like on the daily. Every time it came down here and touched this uptrend line, it got bought up really, really nicely. And then the next time it came back down, right on this, what I think is the 200-day moving average. Yes, I do believe it is. It is the 200-day moving average. Right when it touched, you can see correlation. That is why I use moving averages, guys. That is why I use moving averages, because they work. Big investors use these 200-day moving averages to play off of, and that's why I'm risk off until we're above the 200-day moving average. Let's take a look at the SPY. We are right up underneath that now. The moving average, the 200-day moving average, is 393 even. We are trading at 392. Goodness gracious, we're only a buck below it, but I am expecting to see a little shimmy, a little shakedown there on that area, or in that area, I should say, because it is the 200-day moving average. You're going to see a lot of the same investors shorting in that area that wanted to go long. Okay, so this is the retest. Technically, this is where I would want to get short, because it is retesting that area that it broke out. Now look, it came down and tested 1, 2, and then the third time after that it broke through. So we know that this is not only an area of price action, but it is also a psychological area because of the 200-day moving average. So we have confluency across the market about it bumping into that. So we know it's going to be hard to get through this area, but if we can get through this area, one way or another, whether it hits it and pulls back and then comes back up to breakthrough, or it breaks through on volume now and finds a new base around this 397, well then that's going to be a-okay too. We're going to be here to commentate, we're going to be here to speculate, and we sure as heck are going to be here to trade. Now, when I see this start to break down on this and we bring up Bitcoin, and we probably going to start to see it breaking down on this, but we're not. It's not actually doing that. Hang on, I got to get to the end of the thing. Skirt, there we go. All right, and it's not, it's just kind of lingering around this area, so that's a-okay. We're going to make sure that we keep an eye on that, but if it starts to break down this, you know, it's not something I really want to hold. This isn't like a huge speculative trade. Now, I want to hold this for this $6.50. So this, I'm just going to keep an eye on this, and if it wants to come down even further, I'm going to start managing my risk on Riot, and I will release some of these shares here so I don't take such a big loss when it comes down here. Now this, we're only risking about $15 or $20, guys, but it's still $15 or $20. You know, I just spent $8 on a can of coffee. That's going to last me months. I don't want to use months worth of coffee on that. Yeah, that's what I compare everything to, because money is money. So, Low Pencil says, look at that bridge yesterday. I went in, got the 40%. I'm trying to see if LIPO could be similar. Okay, that's great. So if you're comparing one trade to another and you're trying to find confluency in between the patterns, that's an awesome way to do it, man. So really try and put the charts together. Really try and see if you can find some confluency in that. And if you do, and you can find confidence in your confluency, that's when you might want to take some trades. You know, that might be the time to actually, you know, buy in, take those trades, and be happy with it, you know. So this is what I'm going to do on Riot, just because, you know, I want to see Riot going up with everything else. We're going to go ahead and put the stop loss at the bottom of the day, because I don't want to lose a bunch of money on this. We're down $3.90, which isn't nothing. We'll probably lose another $3 on this trade when it comes, if it keeps coming down. But, you know, I'm not going to take big losses on anything, especially if I'm day trading. I don't want to have to worry about this after I'm done on stream. I want to know I made my money and I'm good to go. So NVIDIA still trading up there at 247.15. Its high a day price is 248, almost even. We're going to see if this thing wants to find a nice little pullback somewhere, as Meta's still trying to trade higher. It's right up there at its $200 area, now 211, breaking through that psychological 200 area. Very important for Meta during the trading day. Now at 218, looking overall very, very well. We have about 5 shares of this. We're up about $15 in that trade. Let's look at Amazon. Now still trading up there at its yearly highs. Is that yearly highs? Let's just take a peek. Nope, not yearly highs. It's yearly highs. We're actually 114.16 and above that 200-day moving average, but we need some work to get there. So we are up and running up against that $100 area again. We are finally back, guys, and it feels so good for this pooper scooper of a stock to be back up there. But for how long will it hold that psychological $100 area? I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce, so I'm expecting it to touch it and start to fail. Okay, we don't want to see AMZN fail at all, but if it can hold a new higher low from this bottom of 95, that's only going to be more positive, bullish looking action for Amazon. So let's look at Microsoft, because we know this thing was definitely leading our indices yesterday. So Microsoft trading at 266.45, still at those pre-market and yesterday's highs. We want to see this thing at least hold and make a new higher low today and continue up higher. But this thing still has room to pull back. So yay, Meta back to 200. Yep, Meta's back to 200, baby. It feels good. And, you know, I'm glad you're still in it with me, Heiser. I know you've had this thing for an awfully long time. But, yeah, Meta's giving another beautiful push, but on lower volume. Don't want to leave that out. Now, we have a lot of, you know, good buying volume. And I'd love to see a lot more come in. But we're probably going to see this thing kind of fizzle out until the power hour. Now, right as I say that, we're up to $200.85. This thing still wants to push higher. If it wants to push ever living higher and ask me saying, what in the float is going on? That's a-okay. Let it push higher. Let this thing pull back and retest this $200 area, and then we can even add into this long if we wanted to. So Microsoft, as we speak, is also pushing up towards its all-time highs for the day, trading at 266.86. What is going on here, guys? AMZN also at its highs. Meta at its highs trading at 289 now. We have NVDA trading at 247.63, pushing up on those highs as well. And Snap snapping right back up above that VWAP area, looking very constructive. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla's making new lower highs, followed this area, and it is pushing even higher, trading at 182.24. This thing is creating a nice little sideways action here in this 180 area and wants to push higher. Look at that, guys. Looking absolutely amazing. Guys, if you like any of this infotainment, this infotainment that I'm giving you, just hit that like, hit that subscribe button, guys. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. If you like stock analysis, commentary, or live trading even half as much as I do, you're going to want to be a part of this community. We have an ever-loving, ever-growing community here. We have up over 330 subscribers now in just over a month, guys. I think we've been here for 5 or 6 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks maybe. I'd say 5 or 6 weeks now. And yeah, things are looking very, very constructive. You know what? Matter of fact, I want to just bring up the subscriber chart actually, because that looks really, really cool. Let me go to the YouTube studio and see if I can't bring that up quick for you guys, because I just think it's cool. Wow, we're up to 332. We've already got 2 more subscribers today. Guys, it's just so good to see these numbers constantly going up. And just like as maybe I just keep talking about the live channel because Meta just keeps wanting to go higher. So things are looking really, really good, guys. We're going to go to the channel analytics, and I'm going to pull up for you the live count right here, guys. Check this out. This is looking like it's going to go parabolic. If I had to go all in on any stock, I would want it to look just like this. We started off at the bottom, and like Drake, we're working up to the top. This looks absolutely amazing, guys. We're up to 332 subscribers. If you look at this chart on my screen, this is the channel growth for the total subscribers. My goal is 1,000. Yes, my goal is 1,000. We have mini goals too, but the main goal is 1,000. If you guys can help get me to 1,000 subscribers, you better believe I will actually start getting paid for this awesome content. And that's why I don't need to ask of anything but these 3 things. To be here for pre-market prep at 8 in the morning Eastern. Make sure that you hit that like and that subscribe. That's the only 3 things I ask of you, because that's all I need from you guys. Other than that, I bring all free information. So go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys, because I want to be here for you as much as I want you to be here for me. So thank you so much for being a great part of this. So SPY is now trading at 391.92, still wicking off both sides of this. Not sure which way it wants to go, but AI blasting off to the north side at 21.79. Good thing we have our shares in that. Thank you again, B. Stewie, for pointing that out yesterday for a tasty little trade. Now Meta trading at 287. It's starting to stutter. It's starting to stall. Riot right at that downward trend line, or the upward trend line that I drew. We want to see that thing hold there, or I'm not going to hold for very long. As NVIDIA, NVDA trading at 247.26 at the all-time highs, guys. The all-time highs for the past year. Definitely. The last time we seen it at this price was right around 4,822. So last year, around this time, we had the same trading price. So we are at a yearly high now for NVDA, looking absolutely beautiful up here, guys. Extended now a little bit from its 10-day moving average, but that's a-okay because we know where we got our trades in. We still have room to come down. We have room to hold on to the stock for a bigger expected move. As Tesla trades at 182.61, Tesla looking like it wants to go here. Can it go? Only time is going to tell, guys. Wow, look at Tesla, 182.79. There it goes, 182.97. Now breaking out of its all-time highs for the day, breaking a nice key area of resistance from previous day and pre-market, breaking out on looks like volume. Yeah, it is breaking out on that volume, so it's looking good for Netflix overall. Let's take a look and run through everything. The IWM, is it still looking constructive? You're darn tootin' it is. Trading at 174.36. We like the IWM here. It had a beautiful squirt. Can it keep that new higher low on the hourly? Can it keep on keeping on the daily? Because we know it's been looking overall very, very weak with this market. Let's look at the beautiful Qs. We're up at 1.32% for the Qs, and now traveling higher at 302.97. This thing looks absolutely wunderbar. Absolutely wunderbar. I love it, I love it, I love it. You cannot you cannot ask too much of the Qs. I'm expecting this thing to kind of pull back or trade sideways here and not do anything too crazy for too far. Netflix, though, too crazy too far is its middle name. It's trading at 312.38, almost back up to that 215 area. That 215 is going to be a very big liquidity area. I'll just go ahead and pull this across so you guys can see where it is, okay? So right there, bada bing, bada boom, we are trading in this liquidity area. We have sloppy toppies right here, and we have an area of liquidity just above that too that it's going to need to shutter, it's going to need to fight. So actually right now, really, this area is kind of right here, right where it's trading in, right where it pushed up through, but that next stop, that 315 area, is going to be a very interesting area for it. So keep in mind that we are at these tops in some of these stocks, and we might want to just mind our P's and Q's. So we have Microsoft trading at 268.21, still trying to push up ever higher at its highs for the day, at its highs for previous day, at its highs for the past few months. Goodness gracious, 268.24. It's still wanting to push. This market is looking absolutely strong, guys. AMZN now trading at 99.71. We want to see AMZN push right up underneath that $100 area. If we can get it right up underneath that $100 area, then we are going to be looking really good for Amazon. We'll expect a pullback, of course, but we want to see it eventually break right on through. So we are trading at 99.75 for AMZN, Amazon, and it looks like it's 99.77. Can we see it break out before the show is over today, guys? Can we see it break above that 100? Meta now still trading higher. Now we're at 201.18. Look at that, Heiser. We are making money. So cheers to you. Cheers to me. Let's see what we're up on this trade right now, guys. We are at $20.30. So remember, we took a few small losses, I think we lost up to about $4.50 on our losses this morning, and now we've not only made all that back, but we've made more. We're up a total of $15.16 in the day for Meta. We are up $20 just on this trade. So Meta's looking absolutely amazing. Let's look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA pushing right back up there to those highs. It had a little bit of wicking off, a little bit of selling, but now it's trading at 247.68, still up there at those highs. We're up about $14 on this trade now and still holding. SNAP, we talked about these snap downs and these snap back ups. It's looking very, very good for Snap. Aw, Snap. Tesla finally breaking out of those highs and still holding, pushing higher. What in the float is going on? 183.09. Can we get this up even higher to 183.75? That's going to be the next high test from 2 days ago. And if it wants to keep on moving, how high can this go? We are still under a 200-day moving average for Tesla. So let's keep on moving on, guys. We got Apple. And let me know if anything pops up on your low float scanners, because mine's still showing the same things. We want to see some new pop-ups on those scanners, and it looks like Apple's giving a little bit of resistance here, pulling back in this 154.53 area, which is understandable. If we draw from this liquidity VWAP area, we can see that was going to be the next area for it to test. And then its final boss, well, actually, we actually have confluency across this, because it's there and there are its highest levels of liquidity above it. So if we can see this thing shape up in this area, we might see a new breakout on Apple. But remember, not only 153 or the 154 and the 154.50 area, this whole area of liquidity has a lot of supply there, and if it wants to sell off into it, then that's what's going to happen, and we're going to have to see where Apple wants to shape up. So Apple is trading at 154.11, looking really, really good for it right now, but also into its supply area. So if it can hold this area out, if it can really, really show this true test of this push, and it can find more buyers to be buying up this area, well then guess what, guys? If it breaks through this area that is supposed to be supply, we might see new highs on Apple. That could happen today. It is only 11:25. We still have plenty of time for this market to continue to move. And as I say that, NVIDIA now back up to new highs at 248.15. Goodness gracious, if you like it, if you love it, you're seeing it here right live for LoFiTrader. This is Dave with LoFiTrader, guys. Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. I'm here every single day. If you like the stock market, trading, analysis, commentary, half as much as I do, I want you to be here for me so I can be here for you. So hit that subscribe button, guys. And we made new highs. 248.40 for NVIDIA. Apple trying to break back up through, touching back up at those highs at 154.51. Are we going to see another push in the market? Let's go ahead and run through the indices quick. Now we have the SPY trading at 393.07, still pushing higher, looking absolutely amazing, well extended from its VWAP area. IWM doing the same gosh darn thing, trading at 175.03. Wow, what a beautiful push for the IWM, and the Qs up 1.59%, trading at 303.70, looking absolutely amazing. What a beautiful breakout. I'm glad we could call this in the pre-market prep, guys. We talked about the pullback, we talked about the retest, we seen confluency, and we took our trades. That's why we are making money now. And Netflix breaking out above that supply area. If it wants to come back and try and test the supply area, where will it test at is the real question. But we want to see it find another area, make a new lower high on the hourly, so we can see this thing climb so much higher. So this is looking beautiful. It's almost like a cup in these lows. Usually on the Wheeler O'Neills, you want to see the cup at the highs, not the lows. But because Netflix is trading above a 200-day moving average and it is curling, it's creating this beautiful looking cup, reclaiming this upward trend line. And if it wants to come back down and test this trend line, kind of like it did here, guys, but I wasn't too sure about it. If it wants to come back down and test this area, this might be a nice place to grab some longs. Now, NVIDIA finally finding some selling at that top, trading at 248.06, still looking very constructive for NVIDIA, especially if you move in on this volume. Let's bring this volume up here for you guys. You can see all of our pullbacks are on lower volume than our traded volume. So that is really good news for NVDA. But in the RSI on the 5-minute is looking oversold. Let's look at the 15. The 15 is looking oversold. Let's look at the hourly. The hourly is looking oversold. And on the daily, we aren't oversold yet on the daily. So just keep that in mind, guys. At these highs, you are in oversold territories on multiple time frames. But in very strong markets, sometimes the market does not care. Sometimes the market is not solvent. It is not doing what you want it to do, and that's a-okay, guys. For it to do that, we just need to keep in mind, that if you're going to take trades, we need to know where our risk is. If you know where your risk is, then hey, you can make that money. You can earn that Rari. Right now, the QQQ is sitting at 303.87. We know we are at a double top right here. So we should see at least a little shimmy, a little shake, a little pullback in this market. If it just wants to blow out through, then holy crap, hold on to your lungs, because things are going to get crazy. NVIDIA now trading at 248.28. Let's go through and see what else we can see. So we know we're at a top on the QQQs. We know that this could be an issue here, and we might see a little bit of selling off in this area. That is a-okay if that happens. I'm just running through some stocks that I have found interesting. I want to see them keeping up while the overall market is doing its thing. So let's go ahead and look at the Netflix. So Netflix is still pushing up high. We are expecting a little bit of shimmy, a little bit of shake up at these highs, guys, because this is a beautiful push, but we're going to need to see at least some people taking profit in this area. Now, Microsoft, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Microsoft now trading at 270.09. Goodness, what a beautiful push from Microsoft. Now, I was not expecting that kind of push after yesterday's push in Microsoft, but this thing is just ripping to the north side. So watch out, shorts, watch out, bears. The bulls have horns today, and they are pushing higher as NVDA finding those new highs at 248.58. Things are looking absolutely amazing to the north side, guys. What a beautiful push, and I hope you were here for pre-market prep to actually see all of this go down. We called all of these levels. We pointed out all of these things to you, and I'm not bragging, guys. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I love technical analysis. I'm so passionate about it. So when you see these things happen, then you can love it. So look, guys, this AMZN now pushed right up into that psychological $100 area. Look, it tagged that $100 area. Now we've seen some pullbacks. So what are we going to see? Is this thing going to shudder? Is it going to shake? Is this Amazon's top before it comes back down and tries to find this VWAP area? Well, I'll tell you this. I think we're going to see at least some kind of pullback with everything being at its top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice little 10 shares here, and I'm going to try and get it short. All right, and we're going to use this area as our risk. Now, yes, it is small share size. I'm only expecting to pull back a little bit to take a small profit in this, but I am expecting a pullback from this psychological $100 area. Also, NVDA up at these highs looks really good, but when are we going to see it pull back to try and test this VWAP area? If we also look at Microsoft, what a beautiful tear, but Microsoft, after these big pushes like this, we usually could expect at least some kind of formidable pullback. Where's that pullback going to be? Well, look, I marked it out for you guys. Its area of liquidity is right at this peak. We don't have very much further to go. This 272, which is another buck, is probably going to see where we're going to start seeing some shimmy, some shakes, some stutters, some steps. Okay, so that's why I'm taking a short on Amazon. Now, Amazon might hold up, Microsoft might hold up, NVDA might hold up, and in that case, we will get out of this short for a small loss. But with seeing confluency across the market and me wanting to take some trades, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take my money where I can. So AMZN, now we're up about 90 cents on this trade, looking for that bigger expected move for the pullback. Same thing for Meta, only I'm not going to get out any shares of this trade because I expect this thing to trade even higher after that breakout. So we're going to see if that is what's going to happen, or maybe I get completely out and just take my money out of these trades for the day. Maybe that's what I should do, just go flat on these and be happy with the money. But I like what I have stated. I like what I have said. We are up about $22 on Meta. We're up $16, $17 on NVIDIA. We are up, let's look at Riot. We are up a penny or two on Riot. And let's look at AI. So AI's been looking pretty strong. We are up, well, I know that we're up about $5 or $6 because we are in it from 2047 and it's 21. So we're up about $5 on that trade. The active traders got it a little messed up, I think, from yesterday. So, you know, guys, I could just get out of all of this and call it good, call it a day, but I do want to see a bigger expected move, so I am going to leave these in with my stop losses. It would suck if this came all the way back down and got me out. Yes, it would, but it's A-okay, man. That's part of trading. That's part of trading. So go ahead and let me know, guys, what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you are expecting in the market, or maybe you just want me to take the analytics and figure out a little something on your trades. Maybe we can find the levels together. Maybe we can find the lines. And guys, I really do just want to exit all my positions and take a win for the day. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 5 shares out of this, man, I'm going to kick myself in the butt for doing that. I really do feel like I'm going to kick myself in the butt. Because if this is the bottom, if this is the bottom, I'm going to wish that... I'm going to wish that I held off. So this is real raw trading. You guys are hearing it right now. I'm contemplating on what I should do. Do I stay disciplined, stay true to the original trade, hold on to these 5 shares for the bigger expected move, for the bigger, longer move? Maybe I can hold out even past FOMC meeting and all that stuff and let Meta try to be a longer term trade here. Or do I exit this trade and say, thank you for the money, I'm happy with what I have, and then just let it go? So that might be something that I want to do. I do want to always protect my capital. So let's treat this as a day trade. And I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get out of this trade. There's always going to be plenty of other trades for other days. So we're up a total of 1682 on Meta. And I hope I don't kick myself in the butt too hard for doing that. But I'm happy that we're up this money. Now, we are in a good trading price for NVDA. I don't want to get rid of everything. We know that we're up on the day. So where is Meta? 244.92. So we got this at 244.92. We got it right here on this freaking line, guys. This is absolutely stinking beautiful, and this is a trade that would suck if it came back down in this area and then stop me out. But we're just going to go ahead and hold on to this trade because I don't want to exit all my trades if I'm finding confluency across the market. But what do I want to stay in? The strongest looking trade. So the strongest looking trade today is this NVIDIA. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those 5 shares in here and let it continue to do its thing. And as I say that, we're at 248.66 on NVIDIA as Meta continues to kind of linger around in that area. Let's go back to Amazon and see where we're at. So we are starting to get that pullback for Amazon, but NVIDIA is still looking strong. So what do I want to do? Let's bring up the Qs and see what's going on. The Qs looks like, yes, we're at that 304, which is that double top where I expected a breakdown, but it looks like it's starting to try and find a bid in this area. But we need to see across the market what everything is looking like. We'll bring up Amazon over here, AMZN, because if everything is still looking so super strong, I don't want to be in Amazon if it looks like it's going to continue higher. But that $100 shakeout is looking nice to me. So I do like the fact that it touched that 100. We've seen increased sell-off volatility when it touched that 100. But where is it going to start finding a bid? If that bid starts to get let up right here where it was just at 99.61, well, I don't want to take a loss on this trade, and I'm going to exit this trade as quick as I possibly can. But when we're seeing confluence across the market, we're seeing a lot of different sell-off, and if it's NVIDIA, that's the only thing. Holy guacamole! Microsoft now trading at 271.68, looking absolutely like a terror, but it's running right into this 272 area, which is the pool of liquidity that I have drew out for you, so be careful at these highs. I do think Microsoft is going to see a little stutter, a little shake, and at least a bit of a pullback at these highs, because what a push, guys, what a push for this. So if I think I'm going to see a pullback in multiple things across multiple time frames, then I'm probably going to want to hold out to see the bigger picture on Amazon with that push at that $100 level. We might even want to take a short on Microsoft right there at that double top just for a short time. Let's just take, well, not a double top, but into its VWAP's liquidity. Okay, so that 271.77 right now is where it's at. We're going to see if it wants to interact with my areas. So I'm still short Amazon, AMZN. Sorry, New Vision, just getting back to you on that. But yeah, I'm shorting AMZN, but remember, this is my short, not yours. We can always push higher. We can always rip City right above that $100 moving average. And if you're not used to shorting, only do it in paper first. You can really get yourself hurt. Now, Microsoft pushing right up into that area of liquidity that I pointed out for you guys. If this thing wants to break out through, come back and retest, that would look even better. But then its next stop is going to be this double top here at 274. So right here, Microsoft still pushing up higher, still looking really, really good in the overall market, as the Qs also running right into this area, this double top, still trying to fight it, still trying to push, still trying to show us that it's strong. It's so strong. And you know Microsoft's holding that up. You know that Netflix looks like it's actually trying to get a little pullback here. Microsoft now is getting that little shimmy, that little shake that I was talking about right up there at that top. There it is, 271.89. A beautiful push off these bottom. What a beautiful market mover. It was sleeping on us this morning. Moved 3.32% without even looking back at this price at 263. Now at 271.93. It looks like it's shimmy shaking around that 272 area. Might be a nice area for a short, but be careful because we know just how strong Microsoft is. And as I say that, it pushes up even higher, 272.36, looking absolutely amazing. What some strength we are seeing on Microsoft, but be careful at these highs, guys. Be very careful. Let's take a look at the Qs. Yeah, the Qs is pushing up higher too at 304.21. It looks like things are wanting to push. So I think we're going to just hold out for a little bit longer, guys, because I still think we're going to see a little bit of a pullback here with Netflix getting a little pullback with let me just focus up here for the. Yeah, Microsoft is showing a little top. Amazon looks like it showed itself a little top. Microsoft still pushing up high, still looking crazy how strong this thing is. Now we're starting to see a little sell-off there. I don't want to get in short on this and this, so we're just going to hold on to this Amazon. If anything, I'll just add on to this Amazon a little bit because it hasn't pushed up too much higher at all. But I want to keep an eye on a little bit of everything here, guys, because if you can understand how the overall market's moving, then you can understand how your trade's going to look. So we have Tesla pulling back. We have Apple. Looks like Apple broke out of, wow, look at this liquidity area that I pointed out for you guys. I said if it breaks out through this, things are going to look strong. I need to get out of this now. So we're getting out of AMZN because Apple looks strong, because Meta looks strong, because everything is looking strong. NVDA is looking like it's just hanging around at those tops still, but still looking strong because it's at an all-time yearly high. Snap still looking strong. Tesla looks like it had a beautiful push off up there. Is it going to hold these areas and try to continue higher? As Apple, wow, what a beautiful push. Apple just trying to push through all this liquidity. This beautiful area of 155, guys, is its next area right here. Why am I thinking that this is so beautiful? Let me zoom out on the hourly so you can see. Look at this traded area. Every time it comes up towards these tops around this 156, it sells off extremely hard, guys. So when it does that, we need to be careful of these tops, but because it's creating this new higher low, it formed this pennant, it broke out, retested, and now is heading higher. This is looking very, very constructive for Apple. So when you see this, guys, everything should probably be rising up. The Qs should probably be rising. Everything should be rising with Apple, and it looks like it is. Meta is now trading higher at 201.50. Goodness gracious, guys, love to see it. Let's take a look at Amazon. Okay, Amazon's at that 99.93 still. We want to see this thing try and break above that psychological $100 area. If it can't, and we're going to see it across the board then, because Amazon is pretty well weighted. So let's keep an eye on Microsoft, because we know this thing is really, really trying to get above this sloppy toppy, this area of resistance, and it looks like it kind of wants to continue to push. You haven't seen a move like this in Microsoft for a very long time. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Granny Randy says, love the excitement on here, but gotta go. Remember, you are only a loser if you're not learning. Granny Randy, you are so correct. You are a loser unless you're learning, right? You are a loser unless you're learning. Look at that. I took a 70-cent loss on AMZN just by watching all the rest of the market to see what was going to happen. Now, if we run back through the market, we might have a better inclination of what might happen to come. So I'm not done on the shorts just yet, because I still think we're going to see a constructive pullback as AMZN sits right there at the top. We got Meta on the track. It looks like Meta's trying to push at 201.64. Look at that beautiful trade on Meta. We made about 16.82 on that trade so far. Let's look at NVDA. We are still making money as Nvidia pushes to new highs at 249.45, and Microsoft not even giving a stop, not even a shimmer, not even a shake. This thing wants to continue higher, breaking out of its supply area as Nvidia now pushing higher, 249.42. Goodness gracious, new highs all around, guys. Things are looking really, really shape up. Meta now breaking these new highs, 201.80. Goodness gracious, Heiser, I hope you're still with us, because I'm a fanboy of Meta and I want to see this thing keep on keeping on. Yes, you love to see it, guys. We love to make money. AMZN now pushing, trying to break through that $100 area. Can it do it? Can it make it through? That would be absolutely amazing if AMZN could make it through this $100 area. Wow, what a push today in the market, guys. We are so green, it's disgusting. I don't even like vegetables in that kind of sense. So this is on some spinach. This really is on one. And now look at this, guys. I have to tell you first, you heard it here, the SPY now trading above a 200-day moving average. This is absolutely amazing. I thought we would at least see a stutter, a step at that 200, and we did. We've seen that stutter, we've seen that step, but that's all it gave us. Now it's up above that 200-day moving average. This is looking good for all your long-term investors. Kevin Pabano says, Fuego. Yes, the market is on fuego right now. You need to get itself some water. Give itself the dunk challenge, the water bucket challenge, because it is on fire and things are looking absolutely amazing. Let's run through this. IWM at alt at daily highs 174.90. The Qs, what a beautiful push at 304.74. Things are looking amazing. Netflix just getting off on that 314.46 with a small pullback here, but looking very, very constructive after its overall bad days of selling. Now Microsoft to 273.10, looking just, oh my gosh, you guys, this is just amazing. You don't see these kind of moves very often when Microsoft usually only moves 2.1% in a day. It's already up 3%, Microsoft is, in the day, and we still have time to come. AMZN now trading at that $100.38 level. Are we going to see this thing actually try and push even higher than this $100 area? It makes me want to take a tasty little short here again at this top, but with everything looking so strong, we want to see confluency across the market that it is going to fail. So Microsoft almost at those yearly highs. The highest we've seen this trade is 275.80, and it's at 273. 10 right now. So what is going to happen in this area? Can we find a better understanding of what is to come? So when we go through these, we see the Qs are at 304.67 at that double top, and it might find some resistance up there and some selling off action. As same thing from Netflix, it is seeing some resistance up there at those tops. This would be the cup, and the handle would be an expected sell-off here. So what are we going to see? Microsoft finally starting to see at least a little bit of red on this 5-minute candle, but every 5-minute candle that's shown red so far has been getting bought up. And now Amazon looks like it is starting to pull back a little bit. What else can we see? Meta, a small pullback. We're seeing Nvidia, a small pullback. Snap, a small pullback. So we're starting to see a small pullback across the indices. Apple, small pullback as well. And Google, a small pullback as well, but still trading right up there in its tops. So guys, what are we seeing across the board? We are seeing a little bit of a pullback and plenty of resistance across these areas. So what are we going to see? Are we going to actually take another little short to the south side in order to try and make some money? Well, what would be the best area, the best one to take? Well, Microsoft breaching these brand new highs, running into a little bit of resistance up at those tops. I am expected to see some sell off there, but it's been too strong. It's too scary. Now, Amazon right at the psychological $100 area might have a hard time. We know this big boat of a stock only usually moves 3% in a day, and it's up 4.11%. So a little bit of a pullback would be justified in AMZN, and a little bit of everything, to be very honest. But with the market being so strong, you have to be really careful with what you are in. So speaking of that, let's just take a look at our trades that we haven't looked at, like Riot. So Riot is sitting right about where we bought it at. We're up about a cup of creamer. As Nvidia, we're up about 21.90 on that. Meta, as you know, we're not in this trade any longer. We took our expected earnings out after trying 2 other times. Our third time was a charm, and we ended up taking 16.82 from Meta. And let's see, AI. Almost forgot about AI. So we're up about a cup of coffee in AI. We're up about $5 in AI, but this is for the longer term expected move. So Amazon is breaking down a little bit, but it did not get me in on my short. So we're still going to wait. I'm still waiting for it to get me in on my short. If it wants to get me in, we're going to be keeping this really, really tight. The last time I tried AMZN, we lost about 70 cents. So as you guys can see through and through, you know, I'm going to lose $1 or $5 here and there, but I'm going to make $20 to $30 here or there, and that's what you guys can see on today, just like yesterday, and I want to continue that. I want every single day to be disciplined and consecutive. I don't have to win or lose the same amount of money, but I want to be consistent. I want to show that, hey, every day I show up, every day I find my levels, and every day I play my plays, and then that's that. I cut my losses quick, and I let my winners run. Now, we are in 10 shares short of AMZN. We are expecting a pullback because I looked across the market. Microsoft is just ripped to the narrow side so high, so hard. It moved more than its average daily expected move in the first half of the day. So I'm expecting to see at least a little bit of a pullback from that. But remember, guys, this market is looking strong in tech. So NFLX, NFLX, also had that beautiful push up to this double top. So I'm expecting a pullback on this double top. What else am I looking at? Well, let's look at Tesla. Tesla pushed up here, made this, well, it's almost double topping, but Tesla's still looking strong right now, guys. It's at its highs for the day, and it hasn't really given much pullback, and we're starting to see some wicking on the bottom. So let's go ahead and look at Meta. So Meta was looking like it, and there we are. We are having a small pullback. Maybe we can get this thing down to the VWAP area before catching another bid and heading higher. Let's look at Nvidia. So Nvidia is still right back there at its highs. That's why I'm not trying to short Nvidia, because this thing is so strong, guys. It's trading at 249.92, still pushing up, still ripping things out of the water and yeeting them across the room. Tesla also, that beautiful wick off the top, trying to push here. Tesla is trying to push here, guys. It might actually get a nice little push. Apple giving some small pullback. We're starting to see some buy up as if it's retesting that 154 area, which is a very nice area of liquidity. It might turn into that support. And Google, we're starting to see a little pullback, but no breakdown there. So let me go back to that AMZN. And, you know, things are still looking very healthy. Now, we're starting to finally see some pullbacks on some things, but it's not like it's, you know, it's not nothing crazy. You know, we're still seeing constructive action, but you know, the real question is do I want to hold on to the short? You know, I get in the short and then I look around and I say, hey, you know, what exactly is going on here? Is this worth holding on to for VWAP, or is the market still strong? So if the market's looking strong, I don't want to hold on to anything that's looking strong, especially with AMZN right underneath that $100 area. I'm expecting a pullback, but if it doesn't want to pull back, doesn't want to do it quick, and we start seeing wicking on the bottom like we're seeing, then I'm not going to hold on to this thing for very long. We want to see, once we're in a trade, we want to see that we're up in that trade fairly quickly, or I get pretty skittish and I start leaving the area. So we'll put AMZN over here on this right hand side. We know we're in about 4 other trades right now, so we just need to go through and see where we're sitting at with the Qs. So we are getting a little constructive pullback here in the Qs, but starting to see a lot of soaking. I don't trust this AMZN. I really don't anymore. I feel like this thing is going to ramp off one more time. So we're going to go ahead and buy this back. We're going to take, what is this? We're up to a $1.90 loss so far on AMZN. Not bad for trying to short and taking a $1.90 loss and then over here taking $20 wins. That is the risk reward we want to see, guys. Make sure your losses are small. Make sure your wins are big. That way we can always extrapolate money from this market. Guys, we only have about 9 minutes left for my show before I take off and I start doing my own thing. I got to focus on housework, dad work, shorts, and videos for the life expectancy, guys. So if you like what you see, if you see what you like, if you like the market half as much as I do, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button, guys, so that way you can be here for me just as well I can be here for you. Join that community, join that Discord. Everything's free. I only ask 3 things. Join us for pre-market prep. Make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe if I'm bringing you any type of infotainment. So thank you guys so much for being here from start to finish. I know we got the crew, baby, and I appreciate you guys. So cheers to you and cheers to me, because my throat needs it and I know I deserved it. Goodness gracious. Meta still pulling back, now trading at $200.52. So it looks like my exit there around this area of 201 does seem pretty well, but as you guys know, Meta being very, very strong in this market, it might have been a wiser decision to hold on to those few shares for the larger expected move, because this thing might yeet on to the sky side and never stop. We might be looking back at this next in a year from now, wishing I would have held on to those minuscule 5 shares. Then I could have multiplied it by 100, 181, 5 times 181. Well, you do the math. It's well over $600, so that would have been nice. But I like to protect my capital. I'm day trading here, so I made a day trade. I took 1682, and now if the market fails, I at least have taken some money out of the market. And it looks like AMZN is back up to that $100.35 area. Very interesting area. We want to see it hold. We want to see it push higher. And if you don't want to see it and you want to see something else on your screen, well, just let me know so I can look it up. We're going to run through these indices, though. Oh, hang on. We got a new one on the gap up scanner. It's not looking good. DRMA, so Dermata Therapeutics popped up on my gap up scanner, but it's not doing much of anything. BXRX still not doing much. LIPO breaking down that area that we pointed out for you. And THMO just kind of trading sideways, still holding that 350 area. AMZN looks like it's going to break out. Now it's above that $100 area. It makes me want to join the bid and protect this $100 area now. So I'm going to be defensive on this $100 area. I took 10 shares. I do like this area for AMZN, even though it is way high up there. If we can continue to break out on this, I want to protect this $100 area. I like the $100 area, but I'm going to be quick, just like the last time, to cut my loss if we need to bring it down lower. So 10 shares of AMZN. We're going to see what happens there as the Qs are pushing to 304.75. We need to be really careful with any type of longs up here in these highs. And saying that, you know, I don't really want to be in this trade. I don't know why I took it. But now we got to defend this $100 area. So if it breaks down this $100 area, I will be out of this trade, and that's A-okay if that wants to happen. So we're going to set this trade, this sell, right here at 100. We'll do 99.99. That's when it's going to stop me out. I want to defend this $100 area that bad. Yes, sirree, that bad. But I don't like anything at these highs. So you're seeing a real raw trade right here, guys. And right there, you know, I'm going to end up exiting this. Yes, I'm exiting it now. Okay, so this is the short sale, and I bought that top. Okay, I was expecting it to move higher on that push, and now I feel pretty silly just for doing that. Now I've wasted $5 on that trade, guys. That's not pretty. Now that's not much, compared to our overall wins for the day, that's not much, but that hurts because that was an emotional trade. That was an emotional trade that you just seen. Emotional trades will get you hurt. I'd rather defend this 100 right now. Defend this 100 instead of trying to, play it, okay? So what I'm going to do is defend this area because we know we're at all these tops. It's probably not going to get me in now because I wishy-wash too much around it. But if we can get this short, that's the trade. We're at all these tops. We don't want to be long at 100. We want to be short at 100 after that push. So if it's going to get me in, I'll take the trade and we'll continue to play it. But for right now, let's take a look at our other trades. So NVIDIA is still trading at all-time highs. We're at 250.79. We're up $30 on this beautiful trade right now, and it looks like it wants to even push higher. What does that tell me? AMZN is probably going to get me in and want me to get right back out if we're going to keep pushing higher on everything. So, and there we go. And now I'm in the short. We're going to see what happens here. And if I get chopped out of this is my last trade on Amazon. I'm not messing around with Amazon. If it wants to keep chopping around in this area, I'm not messing around. But we can see that NVIDIA now printing us delicious, tasty tendies. NVIDIA is really rip-roaring to the north side. And it doesn't look like Amazon's following it too fast. But let's see how Meta is doing. Is Meta going to rip-roar? No. It's only NVIDIA. What about MSoft? MSoft probably is rip-roaring. Nope. It's just NVIDIA. NVDA, ladies and gentlemen, is rip-roaring to the north side. Now new highs at 251.62. You gotta love it. We absolutely called this crap out in pre-market. That's why I want you to be here, guys, so we can, oh, yes, sirree. We got New Vision bringing up Microsoft. Yes, sirree. Things are looking great, but our hottest stock right now is NVDA. And as NVIDIA wants to continue to push higher, we are just going to sit back, relax with our trades, and make sure that nothing else wants to follow it, because it seems like NVIDIA is the leader and we have our laggers in the sector. So let's look at AMD since NVIDIA is pushing. Of course, AMD is pushing. This is not your leader. This is your lagger in this stock, but it's looking like a leader as well. So we're getting a little bit of a push up from AMZN just as we expected because NVIDIA is looking so dang good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, AMZN beat me up today, okay? We are down $5.95 on AMZN. That's A-okay, guys. Why do I say that's okay? Because that is a loss for the day. Let's go ahead and look at NVDA. We are up $35 on NVIDIA. Those are the wins we like to see. We look at Meta, guys. Meta, we are up $16 on that win. Let's take a look at AI. We are up, well, we're actually up because this is up 22 and we bought it at 2044. We'll just say we're up, $5 on that. It's no big deal on that. And then Riot, we're up about $3 on. So guys, we take small losses here. We make bigger wins here, but sometimes trading is hard, guys. Sometimes trading is hard and it can feel like you're underwater and it can feel like you're drowning, but that is why I created this community, so you can see it in front of you. I take live trades in front of you. I do live commentary and I do live stock analysis. So take a look at your screen here, guys. I got something I want to show you really quick before I go right here on the screen. If you guys look, scroll on down, smash this like. I'd like to get to 30 by the end of the day. I'm only here for 2 more minutes, guys, but we have till the end of the day to get 30, and we have been actually seeing that across the board. We are goal-oriented here. We constantly want to do better. So we are at 27. By the end of the day, I'm sure we'll get 30, but while you're here, guys, smash that subscribe button. If I've brought you any joy to your life, any whatsoever, any entertainment whatsoever, I want to see you guys smashing that like button because I want to be here for you as much as I want you to be here for me. So guys, this is Dave with LoFiTrader. Every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. If you guys seen in pre-market prep, we pointed out about 90% of these levels today. We pointed out Microsoft pulling back on this line right here, guys. We drew it all out for you. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at this pullback and this retest. I said yesterday in pre-market, if it retests, this thing could be a beautiful run, and sure enough, Microsoft has been the overall best stock. We even talked about Netflix, we talked about Amazon, we talked about Meta, we talked about it all here, guys, in pre-market prep. You got to love it, you got to learn it, and you got to understand I love doing this. And if you love doing this half as much as I do, I want you here with me. So make sure you hit that subscribe, guys. And thank you for all the OGs that have been here since day one. Shout out to you guys. And if you're still listening, thank you, Uncle Harold. Thank you, Heiser. Thank you, Joshi. Thank you, Rabia. Thank you, Amire. Thank you, New Vision, my boy, Granny Ranny, Ginger, Lil Pencil. We got B Stewie on the track. Rabia, we already said Rabia, but I love saying her name. You know what I'm saying? Guys, Mikey, S. Sim, thank you all. And if I missed your name, I'm so sorry. But honestly, guys, you're awesome. I absolutely love you guys. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Have a good day. Wish me luck.